right, hello. They should be able to see us and hear us. We are Adventures in Lollygagging. I am Jeff. We are playing Worlds Without Number tonight. We've been having a bit of a debate about how to roll with HP because it's been a while since we played. Been a couple weeks. But yeah, we're finally back to our little hex crawl. You can see our little hex crawl on the map where they've gone fairly straight line. We'll kind of do a summary, an in-depth summary for the players to refresh their memory in terms of what has happened, why. Oh, I got people in the wrong place again, but whatever. Why Ashley's trying to kill Melissa, why Melissa hates Ashley, etc., etc. But before we do that, let me talk a little bit about other things we do here on the channel. We play a lot of different games. We play mostly on Mondays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Saturdays has been our Worlds Without Number game. Fridays tends to be our Delta Korean game. Yeah, Karayan. We'll explain why. Ashley got drunk on some potions and tried to kill Melissa. It's crazy. And then what else? Oh yeah, then Mondays we've got our alien game, and starting this coming Monday, alternating with our alien game, we're playing Ultraviolet Grasslands. And so if you've ever looked at Ultraviolet Grasslands by Luca Reyes, published by Exalted Funeral, UVG sometimes in short, it's psychedelia meets Oregon Trail. It's pretty fun. So come check that out as well. And then you can find us a bunch of other places. Our friends at Defenders of Kobolds, Garblag Games, Steam Steel Murder. You can catch a lot of us on those different channels throughout the week. So come take a look at that. And so then I think what we're going to do, let's just go back through everyone's character to say who you are, what you're playing, that kind of thing. Refresh our memories because it's been a little bit since we played again. And so I'm going to go ahead and say let's start with Long because you're playing Vice, and I need to fix the overlay here in a sec. So Long, why don't you just introduce us to Vice?
Yeah, I'm playing Vice, the Blood Priest Duelist. He's a healer, and he likes to craft his tools and weapons out of his bones that fall off of him. So I'm Kreskarian.
Very nice. And what's like your primary role in the party? Like, what do you do?
I'll heal people up if they need it. I'm also a frontline, pretty much damage dealer.
Perfect. And Ashley, you're up next.
I'm playing Octavia. She's Baphomian. She's a warrior / skin shifter. So she likes to like wear goat out, or Hulk out, or whatever you want to call it. And then no, you had just me muted. Oh, okay. You're not bad. Okay, I'm playing Octavia. She is Baphomian. She likes to wear goat out, like that's her thing. She's a warrior / skin shifter. She learned don't take the potion of boiling rage, blood of boiling rage, because it makes you ruin friendships forever for the rest of your life. Which is really bad considering she wants to start her own enclave, and if she doesn't have friends, she's going to be a hermit by herself forever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sounds like that's going to be my life. You know.
Sorry about that sound trouble. I think we should be okay now. Everyone should be able to heal everybody now. If not, just let me know in chat. Sorry about that. I just got sick and tired of hearing Ashley's lies. So I just said, you know what? The hell with it.
You're just really tired of hearing my voice.
I just really want to do the transatlantic voice now. We were talking in our transatlantic voices beforehand. All right, bottom row, we got Melissa.
So I am playing Sonenka. She is Sidawan. She is a vowed beastmaster, but kind of does more vowed stuff than beastmaster stuff at the moment. She's also working on kind of being self-sufficient in her ability to kind of get rid of poisons and heal herself and stuff like that.
Awesome.
She can't wait to get back to our pets and keep training them.
And you have a brother and who's having a kid, and Ashley's trying to steal them from you. So yeah, should be fun. Excellent. And then finally,
she's swooping in on all of the family stuff.
Yeah, swoop. Just doing the old swoop thing.
That's called
she's gonna
being
kill
an
you.
orphan. Okay, you just want family.
I think it's single white female. You've had time? Have you looked into single white female in the movie? Ashley, I've mentioned this multiple times.
I meant to watch that.
I'm pretty sure you're trying to kill Senenka and then take over her life. I'm
Like,
pretty
wear
sure
her
that's what
skin?
you're doing. No, not that far. Okay. I mean, that's
or that.
that's Silence of the Lambs stuff, but not quite where I was going with that, but all right.
I mean,
And then
you know me.
I know you, but I don't think you've ever killed somebody and worn their skin. I feel like I would be a little bit. I would probably report you. I think I would turn you in. I would turn you in.
Melissa's a mandatory reporter, so.
That's true.
Is true.
That's fair. And then finally, we've got Logan in the bottom right corner.
Hi, I'm Logan. I'm playing Burdock, who's kind of like a thick-skinned, blue-collar warehouse worker alien guy. He's got little sharp quills on certain parts of his body. He likes to punch stuff, and he likes to carry around his best friend, which is like a box all the time. It's like a comfort box.
It's very was it Wilson-like? I think was the joke.
Yeah.
Like it was like Wilson.
Even though the box
little
is now
face.
empty, he still carries it around just out of head.
Yeah. Yeah, the box is now empty, actually. Yeah. Okay. So did we go over? Did you guys go over your new level ups?
No.
Do you want to do that really fast? So let's do this really fast. So they all leveled up. Normally, Worlds Without Number, they say like do your level ups like when you get back to town, but like we were kind of in a weird in between spot, so I was letting them do their level ups in the middle of a crawl. So we've got 3 people. The OG crew of Vice, Senenka, and Octavia all hit 4, and our new friend Burdock has hit 2, which means they get some new things. So don't worry about giving us like HP boosts or something like that. But I just want to know if you got any cool new like foci or new arts or something like that that you guys want to share. So we'll just go around the horn again. Long, you pick up anything with Vice?
So I think I'm able to pick up a new art and spell for both Blood Priest and Duelist. I just haven't gotten a chance to look at it. So I guess when the time comes, we'll find out what those are.
Oh,
No, we don't know.
secrets.
Yeah.
Keeping
Okay.
secrets.
Okay,
Because I don't know. So it's
Because he doesn't know exactly. That's what I thought. I'm like, I think it's a secret even from himself. He hasn't fully completed it yet. Okay, Melissa, I know you did yours. So Melissa, why don't you go next?
Okay, so I was able to pick up an extra arch for both Vowed and Beastmaster. So for Vowed, I picked up Revivifying Breath, which means that I can heal myself for 1d6 if I commit action to do that, even if I'm at 0 hit points. So yay
Very
for
nice.
that. And then for Beastmaster, I picked up Know the Weak Spot. So if we are ever fighting a beast, I get to roll damage twice and take the higher score. And I can also kind of shout information over to an ally. And so if they are within earshot, I can spend effort and they can also do the same.
Okay, very cool. Ashley, did you get yours situated?
I don't get any new focus picks this level.
Okay, what about new
So-
arts picks? Because you're what, warrior / something or other, right?
I'm a partial warrior, partial expert, and on that thing it just says
No, partial mage. You're partial mage.
Oh, okay.
Because you're Beastmaster. Beastmaster is mage. Mage is like an all-purpose term
My
for all like
baby.
the fancy classes.
I'm the
Had
Beastmaster.
The wrong one.
Oh, sorry, not
open.
Beastmaster. Shifter, skin shifter.
Yeah, I'm the skin shifter.
So you should have, yeah. You don't get any new foci. But as a skin shifter, you should have gotten 1 new art and an extra.
Ooh.
Oh no, not an extra form. Form's at level 5. So, yeah, you should have gotten 1 extra skin shifter art. So go ahead and peruse those and figure out what you want.
I just need to remember which one it was.
And then finally, did we do? Yeah, we did everybody. Logan, what'd you get at level 2?
So basically, I finally picked unarmed combatant. I think,
Mhm.
which I initially built him to be like a punch guy. He was gonna grapple on things, buckle on, and I forgot that you probably should take foci related to that. So I finally caught up there, and so now I should be able to more effectively punch things.
Yeah.
I think that's the sum total of my contribution to the group.
It's good.
Fortunately for now.
That's a good contribution. I think you're definitely going to be the face character, so that if anybody talks, you just punch him in the nose. Because as we learned
It's good.
in our pre-show conversations, just
Yeah, my
knock him right in the
diplomacy
jaw.
isn't built up either. So,
All right. So let's get into the summary. Let's dive in. Big picture, we're on a planet where there's a variety of different alien species that have come here seeking refuge. And they have all gotten here in a variety of different ways. Most of them have gotten here through because they got chased away by different species. We haven't really dived too much into that backstory. It's not worth it just yet. But just basically think about it this way. We're in an ancient alien mega city. If you're looking at our screen down there, it's that kind of grayish brown bottom left corner. That whole thing is like this massive mega city. And these different alien species have been using this place as kind of a lifeboat and trying to find some semblance of order amongst that. Now, the crew we see here were sent on a specific job by someone by the name of Ruvala, who is kind of a patron of theirs, and they were sent to this giant lake to the east called Lake Woosterok to meet with a bunch of jellyfish people that are called Indarians to make a trade deal, just a simple trade deal. And when they got there, they found that there were a bunch of these mutant people from the pink color stuff in the upper right on that map who were kind of messing around with the lake. You guys made a deal that if you took out those mutants, they would make the deal, and they would say, "Yeah, we'll do the trade thing." And so you did, and it was a fascinating combat that lasted almost the entire session, which was really really cool. But it was still pretty fun. We had Burdock who was going 1-on-1 with someone inside of a tank. The rest of you were fighting this really big dude with a glowing axe. So it was a lot of fun. During the night, however, I think it was Senenka saw some colorful lights above a forest, which is not a common sight actually around this mega city. There's not a whole lot of forest around here. It's kind of a volcanic area, and there's this forest up on the ridge, and there were these beautiful purple and orange lights that were kind of flickering above it. And you all went and inspected it. Your stealth rolls didn't go so well. Their notice rolls went way better, and they managed to set up a little ambush for you all as you went and tried to inspect them. And it was really dicey, as it was very nearly a TPK, but Octavia ate some spinach and went crazy, and you all managed to either kill
I
or
drank
scare her.
blood.
Yeah. I was doing a Popeye reference.
Oh.
I know. I'm very old, Popeye.
Either that or
Batman.
like a
I'm
crazy,
showing my
crazy on
age.
you reference.
So yeah, you guys scared or killed them and got away. And so we're gonna pick up. If you're looking at the map, you can see where the party token is. You guys, we're gonna say it's late morning, mid-morning, something like that. You were promised that your mules would be taken care of by the jellyfish people, and they kind of found a place in a cove off the water of Lake Woosterok. And when you get there, you see that your cart is filled with the sediment from the bottom of the lake that you're coming here to pick up for Ruvala. Don't forget also that sometime late night or early morning, you saw something travel across the sky and crash into the mountains to the southwest. And as you are reaching the caves where you find your mules and your carts, you can still see heavy plumes of black smoke funneling into the sky in the ridgeline to the southwest above you. So, what would y'all like to do this fine morning? No Nindarians about, but they did leave your mules in good shape. You have supplies. You have all the things that you came here for. It's just a question of what do you want to do?
So I do remember the crashed thing, but I also remember we were all pretty beat up. So
That's true.
the last time we investigated things and decided to be intrepid, it did not turn out so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 1 health. I'm not going over there.
Okay. This is going to be a
How-
fun stream. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
I
Our
can,
not so intrepid explorer.
with a little bit of time, I can get myself pretty well healed up. So maybe we can heal and then go investigate.
Okay. Walk me through how we're healing. I know Vice has some magical capabilities. I know that some of you can do first aid stuff.
Yep. And we have access to what we just leveled up.
Sure. Your HP is still where it's at,
Sure. Okay.
but you have your new skills and everything. That's fine.
Because I have Revivifying Breath, which means that I can commit effort for the day
Mhm.
for 1d6, and I get 2 HP every, I think it's
Sure.
2 hours.
I'm also fine. You guys are also welcome to just camp out for the day in these caves and get because you guys had your rest interrupted because you went and inspected the thing in the middle of the night. So you can always rest here, and then you just ran because you guys were so low and they were so outnumbered. You just kind of bolted. So you can always do that as well. That's another thing to consider.
Yeah, I'll be good in about 6 hours. I'll be back up to full health. So, Vice, if you have any healing for maybe Octavia, since she was down to 1.
Yeah, I can spend a bunch of time doing first aid actions. You'll just gain a stress if you want healing
Now,
or strength.
don't some of us have like the fragile or frail condition, something like that?
It's a
I
great
don't.
question.
I think I took a thing.
You do. Yeah, you're frail.
So
Yeah.
if you went down, if you basically got reduced to 0, and
Oh,
when
yeah,
you're brought
big
back up, I do think I think the magical healing of Vice though actually removes the frail quality. So if Vice did any magical healing, he could potentially remove that from you all.
Yeah, 'cause
Otherwise,
it's just natural healing doesn't work.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I remember him doing that.
people don't trust me for some reason in chat. Look at this. They're calling
What?
it the question mark. It's my word. How dare you?
How dare you?
So if you do just basic first aid, if a healer spends a few minutes tending to an ally, you can cure 1d6 plus their heal skill and points of damage. They suffer -1 on the roll if they have no heal skill. This doesn't restore frail, but it can heal a frail PC's hit points. And each application of first aid adds 1 system strain to the target. But it can be repeated for a wounded ally as often as a healer wishes, and the subject's system strain allows. So you literally can just burn up some first aid right now. Just at the cost of some system strain.
Right, so whoever wants healing, you'll have to take one to strain. Just let me know
Okay,
how
who-
much.
Who's
D6
taking
you
first
need.
aid from Vice?
I did
Uh,
last game. I remember taking it because I remember trying to figure out where to record system strength. Not fine.
Okay.
Easy.
Who needs first aid?
I
No one
need
needs first aid.
No,
Okay,
I
so
definitely
Octavia.
need first aid.
All right, so go ahead and roll 1d6 plus your heal skill first, Vice. And just keep doing that until Octavia's full. And every time he rolls an extra d6, Octavia just take another system strain.
Got it.
Go ahead, Long.
Yeah.
No one trusts me. It's crazy. I'm such a I never lie.
It's not you as a person. I feel like it's more
Mm-hmm.
like no, it's you as a person. I was gonna say it was the
Wow.
position of DM, but
Keep
Sure.
going.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's the, are you
That's
sure you
fair.
want to do that? And where are you sleeping?
Jeremy makes his hand, gets arm chopped
Give me another
off.
hit.
Okay.
That's 17 so far for 5 system strain. You want another?
Yep.
How much more system strain do you have left?
I'll take one more system strain.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right. So Burdock,
much.
you're good to go. Sonica,
Yeah.
you're good to go. Vice, you're good to go. Octavia, you're good to go. Everyone's capped off or close to being capped off.
Yes.
Okay, then.
Assuming we
Uh,
have spent some time, I will be.
We'll assume that it's been maybe you reach the caves. Maybe you don't do a full sleep. Maybe you just kind of sit and rest, get some food, check on your mules, do some bandaging up, and probably by midday, after a few hours of rest, you're ready to go again. So the question is what do you guys want to do?
I want to talk sweetly to my mule and feed it something. Look, guys, it's just a nice thing to do to a beast of burden. That's all.
Mhm.
I'm going to feed it yummy fruits or whatever we have.
Okay.
Because they've probably been scared. They've been hanging out in a cave all day, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Squid
All by
people
themselves.
were all over the place.
Yeah.
So make sure they're all right. Then you guys want to check out this crash site?
See what's
Okay.
there.
All right. Okay. So basically, that would mean moving a hex to the southwest. Let me get on I'm not even on the hex map on my own screen. But one hex to the southwest right here is kind of where you're headed. Let's go ahead and move you there. Who would we say is leading the pack? Who's the person out in front that's looking and all that kind of stuff? It's kind of scouting ahead.
Say Octavia's in the back.
Okay.
Burdock can go in the front. He's not great at noticing things, but yeah.
I'm
He was the
going
one
to
that
be
was like
asking
that
for
too.
I'm going to be asking for a notice roll is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. This.
So-
Yeah.
I can do my, what do I have? Gotta remember all the cool things I have. So I can do my Savage Senses, which gives me a +2 on notice.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that.
Okay. And that was Wiz, Notice,
Notice whiz, yeah.
Situational
So
Modifier.
you take the skill. And again, if you think there's something else that might work, DC 8 was what I was looking for. DC 10 is plenty good. Okay, so travel up the ridgeline. It's mountains, but it's easy enough. Even with the cart, you're able to kind of move up the slope. It's also, you can tell there's sort of the ruins of whatever civilization lived in here too. So periodically you come across relatively flat land, which likely was a road at some point. You pass through like a mountain tunnel, and eventually you get within, I would probably say, about a half a mile of where this heavy plume of smoke. You can tell by the time you guys left the cave, by the time you guys started traveling up the mountain itself, the whatever was burning here has kind of dissipated somewhat, but there's still some gray smoke that's kind of pulling up into the sky, but it doesn't have that billowy nature that it did before. With the 10, from about a half a mile away, you can see that there is a fairly large sort of churned up portion of ground where it looks like something slid across the ground and then smashed into this sort of peak of rock off to the west a bit from where you're standing. And again, you're about a half a mile away, and you can see that it probably started sliding along the ground, kind of churning into the earth a bit, and then came to a rest against this peak. And it looks, from this distance, it has kind of an ovular shape to it. You can see that there's all sorts of debris that's been scattered around, and with great certainty, that smoke is going up from that vehicle of some kind. It looks like a vehicle. It doesn't look like earth or rock is hit. It doesn't look like a meteor or anything like that. So that's about a half a mile away.
What I would like to kind of keep an eye out for is if there are other folks like us who are interested in this crash. So kind of not just focusing on what we're seeing, but also kind of the surrounding areas.
From this distance, with that roll, you see nobody else moving about.
Looks like we might be the first ones here.
Burdock is like, I hope no one's hurt. We should probably take a look.
Octavia's
like there's,
not
like,
chatty at all.
wreckage? Does it look like there's wreckage we can move or anything, or is it?
Yeah, from this distance, you can definitely see that there's a kind of a large vessel of some kind, and that's still, I wouldn't say primarily intact, but think of it like the fuselage of a plane or something like that. There's a fairly large, almost ovular capsule-like, and then there's some debris that's scattered about as well.
Does it look like at a first glance that anything could have survived this, or is it just like...
It's still largely intact. Yeah.
Okay.
Vice, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say I think we should hide our cart here before we check it out.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you find a spot nearby that you can kind of tie off the mule. Maybe find not so much a cave, but a place that you can kind of keep your cart out of obvious sight. It takes a few minutes, maybe about 5-10 minutes, to find something that would work. And then did you guys proceed closer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. When you get a little closer, you realize that the capsule itself, you kind of take a look at it. Almost looks like a Tylenol, like a fairly large bit of Tylenol. where there's a rounded front that's been accordion smashed against the peak of mountain, and then there's that same kind of rounded back, but that seems to be intact. You can see sort of draped and torn and thrown all over are these semi-reflective folds of some kind of fabric or material, some of which are flapping around in the breeze of the wind, which is considerable up here, by the way. And you can see that some of it's kind of pinned and caught underneath what looks like the capsule itself. You can see these long, what you think are metal like masts or frames that have been folded and broken and kind of cast aside here and there as well. The funnel, like the kind of the channel that it was, like the earth that was churned up, is at least 15 to 20 feet in terms of like its diameter. So this thing is probably about 20 to 30 feet across, and in terms of its width, and probably twice as long in its length. When you look at it as you get a little bit closer, when you're about 100 or so yards away, you can see that it has a fairly smooth surface to it. You don't see any clear signs of like paneling or like riveting or seams. It just appears fairly clear. But there does seem to be a tear towards the front where the front side of it is accordion smashed against one of the peaks. And there is a fairly large portal that has opened up. It's kind of pinned upward a little bit, so it kind of came to a stop and then shoved upward, and then there's that hole on the side. You can see that this isn't the peak of the actual mountain itself. You would surmise that there's at least 2 or 3 more ridge lines that go up much higher, and there are some really loose mountain goat type paths here and there as well. And there's small fires that are still continuing, but nothing too big.
I'll start picking up any of his materials, this silk you're talking about, see if it's anything valuable.
Sure. So yeah, you find something that's manageable. Most of it's huge, like tarp size, but you find a couple small little rips and tears of it. Go ahead and roll a no. You can do, what kind of skills you got, buddy? Do like a no int, would probably work. Or if you have craft, you can do craft instead. I think you do have craft.
Oh, I got a 5.
Okay. Not entirely certain what this is for. You're not entirely certain what it's comprised of, what's the purpose of this, or what kind of material it is. You can tell when you touch it, it's not fabric, but it has that kind of malleability. It feels kind of hardened. And as you hold it, you can see these tiny little, when you squeeze it just ever so slightly, radiating out from where you squeeze it, there's these small little currents of electricity, these little blue bioluminescent currents that just dissipate when they get about an inch away from where you pressed it. You've not seen this before.
I was just gonna say, Burdock's like, y'all ever seen anything like this before?
Roll
No.
it up for now, then.
I think he'll slowly place the box down on the ground now that things are getting intense. Give it a pat, and then he'll start investigating too.
He's like, you stay right here.
Yes. Here, little guy.
Don't worry. I'll be right back.
I
Listen,
won't forget
if
you.
anything happens to me, you just get out of
Box.
here. No, he's telling the box, you just run.
Oh.
Take to the sea. To the sea.
Now that you're closer, if Sunenka and I would say anybody else who feels like it, you can do notice whiz, or if there's something else if there's something more specific you're looking to investigate, like craft, for instance, if you want to use a different skill, you're welcome to do that as well.
Yeah, Burdock's just basically trying to see if there's signs of life or death,
Okay. Notice whiz for that. I don't think there's anything
Gotcha.
more than that.
You specified that there's no like tracks leading up or away from the ship.
Go ahead and roll survive. Whiz is fine. Octavia. So Burdock, you're just looking for signs of life.
Wow, that's a roll there, Burdock.
Okay. Not only is everybody in the crash dead, But your entire party's dead. You've been walking around with ghosts this whole time.
Burdock doesn't even know if he's alive or not.
You've been dead this entire time.
Octavia, you see fairly obvious and large drag marks that seem to be moving away from the tear in the side of this capsule.
I want to start tracking after them.
Yeah, you move about 20 or 30 feet away from the primary crash site, and you can see that it appears to be dragging them up one of these curving mountain paths that goes up one of the ridge lines to the top of the peak. If you were to follow it, you'd be leaving your party. So I'm
The
just
party,
if you
okay,
want,
yeah.
but you know where it goes. So if you want to do it, just know that it would take you away from this area.
Okay.
Again, there's a hole in the side of this thing as well.
Yeah.
It's a fairly large hole.
That's probably what Senenko would be looking at.
Okay. You peek inside, Senenka, and you can see what looks like machinery. You can some of it smashed up a bit, but you can see what looks like a fairly fancy, advanced-looking console that's been smashed to bits. Some strange mechanism of control, like you can see almost what looks like a steering wheel, a couple seats. You also notice that there's blood all throughout the interior of this thing.
Does the console smashing appear to be like? I'm not sure if I can tell this. If it's like crash related or.
Are there like claw marks in it?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Better way to ask the question.
Roll like an intelligence to see if you can deduce differences in smashing.
That's a 6.
You can tell that there are in fact claw marks on the exterior of the capsule, but you can't it's such a catastrophe inside. It's hard to determine whether some of the debris was caused by the crash but there do appear to be claw marks on the outside.
So Senenka will, kind of peek her head back out and just say to everyone, it appears that we are not the first individuals here. There are some claw marks and damage inside.
It looks like they got dragged up the mountain. And like Octavia's like just kind of like she's offering what she followed, but like you can tell she's a little weird. She's not bubbly.
Senenka wants to see if we think that we might go up the hill, is there some equipment here that we might want to take back? This appears like it would be quite good salvage.
I mean, it does occur to me that if we did rescue some folk, they might be mighty grateful to us in terms of salvage.
I was just thinking that if we can't be the only ones to have seen the crash, and if we leave this area, someone might take some of the wreckage in our absence.
It's fairly big, right, Jeff? It was a large vehicle.
The capsule is large. It's like the size of a school bus.
Oh yeah. I was just wondering if there was something inside that maybe we could take.
Most of it's
Yeah,
all
I don't-
smashed up. It would probably
Okay.
take you some time to sift through it and see if there's anything that's like salvageable intact, like ancient tech, basically. Like if you wanted to salvage something that can be
Yeah.
functional. At the very least, there's tons of scrap here that you could potentially bring back with you. At the very least, but it would take some time. It's literally like it would be like a day's worth of labor to do that.
Yeah, do we care more about the people or the salvage? Just as a curious.
The people.
It's a good question. Just make sure everyone's on the same page.
Check the room, see where
Yeah.
everyone's at. So Nenka's
Yeah,
vote is the people.
I could roll with whatever. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
What were you saying was up on the ridge again?
Tracks. There are tracks that Octavia saw, drag marks away from the hole in the side that seem to be going up the ridge, further up the mountain.
I'd be willing to follow those.
Good. So let's all head out.
Okay. All right. I'm unless you're telling me otherwise, I just think from now on I'm just going to assume Senenka's out front as like kind of the eyes with her savage senses. So unless you tell me otherwise, that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, and I think Burdock will stick close to her. So if she's busy looking and not watching her own back, like he'll watch her back,
Sounds
so
good.
that she's freed up to do that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so something like tries to ambush, interpose, or whatever.
Okay.
Which at the moment there's still a little look in Octavia's direction. The trust has not quite fully been reestablished yet.
Fair enough. So you begin your trek upwards, and at first it's not too difficult, but eventually it just you know, the air is getting a little thinner. You're still kind of worn out from the day before. Eventually you're kind of feeling it. So why doesn't everyone just give me an exert what's it called, contest, just to see how we do.
How long have we been here, Jeff?
You did a cursory inspection, so we'll say maybe a half an hour. Like, you didn't do anything too in depth yet.
Okay.
And I'm looking just for a 6 here, just making sure no one's.
Done.
Yeah, everyone looks good so far. Just waiting on Sinenka. Yeah,
8.
all of you get up here. You managed to have your second wins of the day. You do notice that storm clouds appear to be on the horizon, however, and you would imagine sometime within the next hour or two, the mountainside could be covered with those clouds. But eventually, you get up to the end of what looks like this path, these drag marks. And you can see that they go into what looks like an opening in the side of the mountain. Sinenka, roll a notice whiz.
Alrighty.
It's a fairly large opening.
That's a 9.
And you, as you're thinking to yourself, probably at a certain point, that's an extraordinarily large cave opening for this high up the mountain. And then you realize that it's not so much the size as it is like just the perfect arc of it. And you realize it's kind of a circular opening, and you can see there's almost like a molding frame around the mountain rock, as if this was like a kind of a person-made or human-made, folk-made hole in the side. And you can see that there's these runes that have been written around the circle of this kind of circular opening, and there's on the sides of the opening on the inside, you can see it's metallic, as if there's a structure built into the side of the mountain.
So Seneca will kind of shush everyone, bring everyone close, and just, say we definitely have come upon an area that someone built here. Can anyone read what is on the doorway?
It's asking a lot.
So, I mean, all of you will be able to recognize what looks like the language of the ancients. You see it all around Husk, all over the place. This kind of runic inscription here and there. Some of you might have some kind of base understanding of certain letters. If anybody feels so inclined, roll a no int, and you can try to interpret some of this. More moon gorillas. Just so many moon gorillas all over the place.
Everything seemed a little
I
dull.
want a 10 on this one.
Spice up.
11.
I said I wanted a 10, Ashley. No, you fail.
7.
Octavia, you would recognize some of the warnings as it's basically like a warning for like incoming incoming and outgoing. So like don't stand around here. This is dangerous. Like something's coming and going.
So I explain that to the group very succinctly, and then I just kind of wait around to see what you guys want to do. But I do want to like crouch down at like the blood, and I want to see like how congealed it is. Like, is this fresh blood, or is this like something's already dead?
It's fresh. Not like within the last 5 minutes, but maybe within the last hour or two, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks humanoid from your best guess. Probably human or something very close to human. Sedawan maybe. Could be any of a number of species that are human akin.
Hmm.
Does Octavia communicate any of that? Or
She just kind of see as she stands up and she like looks at her hands or fingers because she just scooped her hand in it, and she's like, we should continue.
getting close, are we?
Let's press on.
Okay. So, do you move into the opening? All right. As you step into the opening, you see a little bit of light, like this red light, just begin to automatically appear along the side panels as you step through. And as you take like 2 or 3 steps, it goes away. But for each one of you, as you step inside, there's a little faint reddish glow. You're also hit with like kind of a foul smell that is emanating from deep inside. It's also incredibly dark. Once you're 10 feet inside, all light from outside is really beginning to diminish. I know that I think Sonenka, you have like basically dark vision at this point now, right? Didn't you take
Because
something?
I've been doing my savage senses.
But the rest of you would probably have difficulty seeing anything further.
Yeah. Shit.
Okay. So you also notice as you're walking, at first it's mostly like just gravel and dirt. But the further you get in, you start to realize that like the ground itself suddenly starts to echo, and you realize you're stepping on like metallic panels, like you're feeling like some give, and then you're hearing like the echoing of your boots, the soles of your boots or of your hooves in the case of Octavia against the metal paneling. And you realize that you have kind of bypassed that area. You also realize that you're moving downwards on like about a 45-degree angle. Once the debris, the rock and the debris and the dirt and the sediment that's been built up by the entrance, once you get past that, it's just almost a straight 45-degree drop, which isn't easy to move down. There's periodic like handholds here and there, and you can see more of these like warnings. You also notice along the way that there are these kind of peculiar looking panels that almost like a rim around the inside, that they don't activate or anything when you go past them, but they are a good 10 feet wide, and they just kind of wrap around the entirety of this tube. You notice that there's like these panels nearby that you imagine can be removed, and you think are probably like some kind of utility access panel that has something to do with those rims. But you continue
Quick
to track.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How far in have we gone from the front area where those
Probably
little...
about 100 feet or so.
Is it dark enough that we can't see where a light?
At this point, you can't without light. Yeah.
I'll bring out a lantern.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't go any further if I couldn't see.
Okay.
I'm trying to think how much would we be familiar with. I'm thinking about the red lights that came on as we walked in the door.
Okay.
Would we as characters have a conception of what that could be? Like an alert system or something like that? Or is that probably not?
I would say
something we
Octavia would probably... There was a warning, basically no enter, and like you entered, and was likely reinforcing that warning.
I was going to say to the group, how high up were the lights on the side?
It was basically along the side, and didn't go all the way up to the top of this circular tube that you guys are in, but it's certainly along the sides of it.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. I was thinking maybe if it was low, we could like pretend to walk back out and then like jump over and come back as if like we left and then, but I don't think we know enough to do that.
So after another 100 feet or so, you're probably somewhere around 300 to 400 feet down this 45-degree angle. You start to smell something. Fairly foul smell. You also notice that there is kind of a collapsed portion up ahead of the tube itself that seems like the mountain rock has ripped through the metal paneling at the top of this metallic tube, and kind of splits it in two. Like you can still fit around either side, but it kind of just it's a little bit of a squeeze, maybe about 5 feet wide on either side. It doesn't bear a problem, and it quickly meets back up on the other side. But you can tell that the sturdiness of this tube is in question. But you smell this horribly foul smell that begins to waft up, and you guys all start to hear like a skittering here and there, and you start to see around your lights. Those of you who have torches out or lanterns out, you start to see these little insects begin to flitter around the light.
Oh, great.
Like gnat or moth sized, or
Yeah, I would say probably. Yeah, they're probably more gnat size than moth size.
Do I recognize this smell? Is like dead body.
Yeah, it certainly has a rotting stench to it. Yeah.
kind of sweet and pungent.
A little bit.
Do I hear anything else besides the skittering?
Roll a notice whiz there, Octavia. That's your real name.
Oh, this isn't Delta Green.
Roll a sand test, Octavia.
Damn it.
How about them apples?
It's my agent name. So
7.
funny. Okay. No, you don't hear anything of too much of note. You hear some like creaking here and there, but you imagine that just might be like the metal of the rim and the panels like expanding and contracting.
So not like any like rattling, breathing.
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
So you guys continue for another 300 or 400 feet down this fort, and at this point, it's been about somewhere between about 1,200 and 1,500 feet that you've descended down this 45-degree angle, and finally you see that the tunnel, the tube, kind of opens up a bit, and you can see that while the 45-degree angle continues to descend, you can see that there's these little pathways that go off to the right and to the left, and there are like these little landing areas with handrails, and you can see there's some consoles on either side. You can see that there's on the right-hand side there's a door, and on the left-hand side there is like a collapsed metallic wall where like more of the earth has collapsed inward. And the smell is getting richer and fouler at this point.
So just to recap, there was like this crashed hill-shaped thingy, and then tracks that led us into this weird kind of pre-built place, right?
Mm-hmm. Drag marks, yeah.
And are there still drag marks here?
Oh yeah, easy enough to follow. I mean, not drag marks as much as it is blood marks at this point, and they're here and there. They're not as robust as they were before, but yeah, you can easily see it. It's easy enough to
Any
track.
like discarded clothes or body parts or items or anything like that? Or was it
Items?
just
Arms
metal?
laying around.
Yeah, some cloth here and there, but no discarded body parts or anything like that. Some ripped rags and cloth here and there.
So we know that there were claw marks on the capsule and drag marks.
Yeah.
So we
I
can.
just wondered how bad it might be. So
Vice, you as everyone else is sort of talking, you were quiet. You were looking down, and you can see further down that 45-degree angle, you suddenly see a glowing shape just move across your vision from the kind of the right side of the tunnel to the left, and then seems to disappear behind kind of the left wall. And this is again probably about 100 to 200 feet ahead of you, again down that 45-degree slope.
I saw someone who might be onto them, and I'll lead them to the right side.
We'll follow.
Okay. So you continue? Do you go after it, or is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay. So why doesn't everyone go ahead and roll sneak at this point?
Yeah, you got it.
Melissa went and got some Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I'm gonna be dehydrated, but so energetic.
10.
Okay.
I got a
right.
7.
You guys hear my cat screaming in the background? I apologize. I don't know what her deal is. Yep, there she goes.
There it is.
You move all the way down quietly, and you can see another one of those capsules is parked here, immobile, on what looks like some kind of large and wide, expansive bay. And you look off to the left and look off to the right, and there is this massive bay of a couple ships, a couple capsules, something like that. Most of them have been ruined by the ceiling kind of collapsing here and there, but there's one or two that seem to be in relatively decent condition. And you also notice that the glowing image that you saw, Vice, is a fairly large creature that seems to be kind of curled up and tucked like at the base of one of these capsules, about 45 or 50 feet to your left. It seems to kind of like be in the process of sort of settling down, like the way an animal might spin around, like walk, and then slowly lower itself to the ground. If you had to compare it to something, it looks like a very large glowing bear.
Moon girls and glow bears.
Glow bears.
Do we see?
Which way did the blood marks go?
Right towards that moving creature. And also, there's been no place that you haven't smelled that stench more powerful than here.
Gotcha.
Might be this creature's dead.
What do you think, Weiss? Can we take it?
That's a challenge I'm willing to find out.
God.
Let's see if the materials are worth it, these capsules. Because whoever crashed the last one might be long dead.
We could try and sneak into the one that's furthest from it.
So there's 2 capsules down here, you said?
There's one that looks relatively intact, and that's the one that it's kind of circling around. And then there's like smashed and crashed ones to your
okay.
right and the left as the bay extends, where like there's been a series of cave-ins here and there. But as far as like you can't even see, for like your light doesn't extend far enough to the right and to the left to see how large this bay might be.
It's possible there's more than just the one here.
Yeah. Do we want to engage?
You need blood for your blood god, right?
I think it would be better to engage now when it doesn't expect it than to try to shuffle around and make noise and
Oh,
have
the
it
lady
attack
has a
us.
point.
We've
Does
come so
it-
far already. The only way out is probably taking one of these capsule cars out.
Come so far. We've tried so hard. But
In the end, it didn't really matter.
So I don't think it's noticed us. We can get the jump on it real quick and hijack this shuttle.
All
Alright.
right. In we go.
So as you get a little closer, Sonica, you notice that there's other things that seem to be surrounding. You can see that there's like bodies on the ground, some of which seem recent. You can see bones and stuff of other creatures that have been scattered about. The idea of this being the den of this creature is fairly accurate. And when you guys get close, you realize that this thing is very large. Like it's got to be at least maybe 15 feet in length. It's on all fours, curled around, and you realize it's got no real fur to it. It's just kind of this like bioluminescent skin. Sonica, roll a notice whiz.
Whiz.
Because you have the best
bonus.
eyesight in the dark.
12.
Okay, you notice two things of note. One, it doesn't seem to have any eyes. Two, you notice that there are numerous, dozens and dozens and dozens of small wounds all over its body. You can see that there's bugs that are flying around it. Like just, and you can see kind of a coating of bugs over top of some of the bodies on the ground. With a 12, you also notice that there's, I'll give you one more thing, that you can kind of see, like, kind of slumped against the wall. There's an individual, humanoid, you think human specifically, that is just kind of leaning, and you think, not certain, but you think might be breathing, but they have a fairly large claw mark or slash mark across their chest that likely would kill them if they don't get serious attention, and could still potentially kill them.
12. Kind of point.
Maybe way off base, but I'm getting kind of a tardigrade vibe from this glow bear thing.
You're getting a what vibe?
Tardigrade, the water bears. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking about?
yeah. I don't know if we want to fight that thing. Sinenka pointed out the guy that needs healing. Like, Octavia's vote is to do like a
All right. What if?
sneak swoop heal.
But to make that
GTFO.
work, we're gonna need a distraction.
Fuck.
How far is he away from the shuttle or the bear?
There's that one intact capsule. There's the bear that's outside of it, curled up. There's the bodies that are nearby. There's bugs on top of them. All of it's in the same general area.
What if we chuck something at it, get its attention, run and draw it off, and then Vice is the one with the healing. So Vice could maybe help get that dude out of there.
That guy's
What do you think,
right.
Octavia? You wanna help Burdock kind of draw it off? Because Sinenka can talk with just about damn near anything, right?
Yeah, let me. That's what I was looking at. What's my good.
If there might be a better plan, but first thing I can think of.
Weiss, what were you saying?
I was just saying that guy's dead weight. He's gonna hold us down.
We should rescue him.
We can, but not with this bear here.
So, because I already did Savage Senses, I've got one more effort. So I can either do Tongue of Beasts, or I can do Know the Weak Spot. So if we want to try talking to it first, I can do Tongue of Beasts.
Yeah, I'm open to ideas. Anybody else have any ideas?
I mean, what are you gonna say to him? We're here to take your food away from you in your home.
We're just here to rescue.
I'm like watching this bear like a hawk, waiting for it to do something while they're trying to decide what they're doing.
It looks like it's trying to sleep. Like, it looks like it's tried to like it, but it's restless. Like, it's having trouble. But yeah, you can tell, like, again, there are bones and all over the place, and there's definitely a body here that seems to still be living.
Getting a little Monty Python.
We need to get to him where he's gonna die.
Look at the bones.
Yeah. You guys just need to make one of you just needs to decide on something.
Yep, cool. Well, Burdock will chuck a rock at it. And then he's like, look over here, you big dummy.
Okay. You chuck a rock at it, and I mean, it's either going to hit it or it's going to land nearby enough that you see it suddenly like jolt and leap
Yeah,
up.
that's right.
And kind of.
And then he's going to turn and run.
It's glowing. Well, understand, it has no eyes, so it's glowing like this thing's head is just sort of moving about.
Yeah.
And you guys watch as it just sort of clenches down and it just begins to shake. and you see all those tiny little wounds on its back begin to burst, like pop, like one after the other.
God.
And these large bugs just begin to emerge from it. And as they're just shaking, pop, 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 this swarm of insects just begins to start to billow out from its back and starts
regret
to
nothing.
overtake the area and starts to fly in the direction of the four of you. What do you guys want to do?
Oh, I was even considering one of the arts that had like a swarm defense thing, and I didn't take it.
Well, I'm gonna start running the other direction.
You running out? Are you running out?
Yeah.
Okay. So Vice turns around and starts running right back up the slope that you guys came down.
Shit, that weren't the plan.
That's the bee's nest behind.
Okay. So Vice, you just turn around and run. What are the rest of you doing?
Go ahead, Octavia.
Did you say they were like attracted? These are the same like gnat-like bugs we were encountering earlier.
These seem
or much
bigger.
larger?
These seem bigger. These seem bigger.
Do we want to try and like get a torch and like get to the guy and like run?
You can do that if you want.
I don't think that's like a one person thing. Like one person's with the torch and the other person grabs and runs.
Well, the stone has been thrown, so whatever you're doing on your
Yeah,
turn.
the idea was, Burdock was like, I'm going to draw it off. You guys get to the guy. And then everyone was like, fuck that plan. Let's run.
Well, only Vice has ran
True.
and you're running,
Me too.
but it's not following you.
It hasn't done anything yet because I'm waiting and trying to let you guys do something first. But like this is
Okay.
supposed to be like an instantaneous
Stressed.
action.
I'm trying, man.
Senenka, you probably didn't have light out. I'm gonna light a torch. And
Okay.
see if maybe that repels the bugs, and then if not, or if it attracts them, and if it attracts them, I'm gonna throw it.
Melissa, what
So
are you
is
doing?
there a reaction? I will.
What are you doing?
I guess I'll try to go.
There's a swarm of
the
bugs
guy
coming
up.
at you. There's a giant glowing bear that just shook and released those bugs from its back. Hasn't moved, just the bugs have. A swarm
Yep.
of bugs is hurtling towards you. Vice just turned around and ran. Burdock threw a rock. Octavia's lighting a torch. What are you doing?
I'll see if I can grab the guy.
You're going to run toward, again, the bear's right next to him. I just want
Mm-hmm.
to be clear about your actions here. Like you're running towards the bear that's got the body next to it.
That was what we were trying to do, is rescue the person. I believe.
Okay, so Sonika, you run in the direction of the body. Okay, let's go ahead and get into initiative order then.
Okay.
Do it.
All right, I'm just gonna throw you guys down there. All right, let's go ahead. Damn.
So Burdock, you went like parallel, so you're still in the cave, right?
Yeah, I mean, I chucked a rock at it, trying to get the attention of it to try to make it chase me. But instead of chasing me, it just shot a bunch of bugs.
Yeah, it gave birth to some bugs.
Yeah. If I get a chance to notice that, I might change what I'm doing. But I think he was just booking it. He thought that would get it to follow. But
Okay.
sometimes,
we haven't seen
sometimes
like
you make it.
we haven't seen a swarm thing before, so this is
Yeah.
new to see a
Yeah, exciting.
see a swarm.
With Octavia's bonus, you guys get to go first. So currently, there's this swarm of bugs that are chasing down on Octavia, Burdock, and Sinenka, who are about 45 feet away from this bear. Vice, you've turned around and started running back up the about 1,500 to 2,000 foot slope that you guys came down. And then the bear is over by the capsule still. Senenica is closing in on it. So the 4 of you are up. What would you like to do?
I am grabbing the person and hoping that other people are going to give me some cover.
Okay, what's
Yeah.
your so you're running and you're
Yep.
moving up towards this body, and you reach out to grab it. Now when you get there, you realize they're about 5'10" or so, probably about 170 180 pounds. So you grab them and you hear, and it looks to be a guy, kind of pale skin, but you can't tell if that's just from blood loss. As you grab him, you see that there is another body right next to him that's been torn and ripped in two, and you can see that the legs have been just completely removed of any skin and almost down to the bone, and a whole mess load of these tiny little bugs erupt off of it. And so you just want to reach out and grab it. Go ahead and roll a strength exert as you try to grab
Okay.
him, just to pick him up and drag him away.
I am not the strongest, but I'm going to give this a shot. And I got an 8.
Okay, that's good enough. Yeah, and so you grab him and you throw him over your shoulder, and then you turn around, getting ready to run back, realizing that you're just about 2 or 3 feet away from a giant glowing bear.
Mhm.
Octavia, Vice, and Burdock, what would you like to do?
Realizing that Senenka ran towards it instead, I'll have to turn back around.
Okay.
If the slope is steep enough to like slide down.
Yeah, it's 45-degree angle. So you turn around, kind of do like the
Whee!
Legolas thing, and just sort of slope down the trunk of the elephant. Okay.
And I'll head towards the shuttle.
Okay. And so you're just running towards where Senenica is that right?
Mhm.
Okay. Octavia and Burdock. 2 of you are standing
Uh,
there, swarm
Burdock will
coming
marvel
directly
at
at you
the
guys.
CGI of Legolas on the trunk, and then I think I'll try to like. Is it a free action to like look back and see what's happening, like as he's trucking?
Yeah. Look.
He looks
Are you
back.
you're running? Are you running up the slope, or are you running like to the opposite end of the?
Yeah,
bay
he
or
was like
something that?
scrabbling, trying to scrabble up,
Okay.
and draw it away.
So you're running
Um,
up. Vice is sliding down past you.
Yeah.
You're 2 ships in the night, passing one another. Yeah.
So yeah, I think he was expecting to hear like the thunderous footsteps of the beast following. He doesn't hear it, so he kind of looks back, like what's going on, and what does he see?
Yeah. He sees Octavia kind of like got this torch out, and she's just like waving it around as like there's these bugs that are swarming around her. He sees you see Senenka like right next to the glowing bear, has a body over her shoulder. And you can see Vice is now kind of trying to run to go and assist Senenka.
How far away is the blue bear?
From you, since you ran back up, it's
Yeah.
probably about 70 to 80 feet, something like that.
Okay, right. And then there's like a bug swarm.
That seems to be swarming around Octavia.
Okay, all right. Yeah. If it is possible, Burdock will try to meet up with Octavia, and then start throwing punches at this swarm to see if he can smack a few of these bugs out of
Okay.
the way.
So you run back down. You try to get in kind of the radius of Octavia, and you start just trying to swat and punch and whatever at these different swarms. Sure. Go ahead and roll your kind of like your punch attack.
Okay. Yeah, he sees she's in some sort of trouble, so he tries to help out. Punch attack. Let's go. Newly upgraded punch. Let's see.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. And you're swatting away, and it's not so much punch as it is just like kind of just swatting them down, stomping on them when they land on the ground. And you get a couple here and
Pull
there.
off his hat.
Yeah. And as you do, as you stomp on one, you see this like pus just erupt from below your shoe. You hear the bear go at that point.
Oh, that's right, big boy. That's
Okay.
right.
Octavia?
So they are attracted to my fire?
They're swarming around you.
Okay, but like not necessarily just going straight for the fire.
Doesn't seem so. They're just
Okay.
swarming around you right now. They're not like going into it like dumb bugs in a bug zapper or anything like that.
Okay. I'm
Damn.
gonna start just swinging around, hitting him with the torch.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and just roll an attack.
Do you want me to just roll my weapon?
Well, you're not going to get that kind of damage from your sword, so
Okay.
because you're rolling a torts around. So I would say just roll, because it's really the damage doesn't matter to me with this swarm.
Okay.
It's more along the lines of whether you're just like hitting something. So you can just
Maybe
do
just like strength.
if you're using a torch,
Punch.
I would say stab, since you're using a weapon as opposed to punching. But you can also just do punch too, and just say you're stomping on them and smacking them too. So whatever you prefer between those two.
I mean, Burdock is already skanking around, so
12.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And so you just start smashing. And again, the bear just like and seems to be kind of getting enraged the more and more you guys like smash on these things. Okay. Its turn then. And with its 40 feet of movement, it's going to charge in the direction of Octavia and Burdock. Sinenka, could you go ahead and just roll an evasion test as this thing lumbers past you? It's so big, it doesn't really even pay attention to you, but I'm just kind of curious, luck-wise, if you just happen to bump into it. And if it
So that's going to be Dex plus.
There's an evasion. Just roll evasion. There's an evasion thing on your home screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just roll evasion. Just see if you manage to get out of its way.
That's a failure.
It bumps into you and you kind of stumble down to the ground and sort of the body flops down a little bit and you hear as this just massive lumbering beast. Don't take any damage or something. Just kind of slows you down basically.
Okay.
It's going to get right in the midst of the swarm at this point, and you can see that there are continuing to be these eruptions from its skin all over, from its arms, its shoulders, its flank, its ass, just popping up all over. And it's going to just start wildly swinging out at the two of you. And I'm going to be using 2 claw attacks, one on each of you.
Okay.
So the first one's going to be against Octavia. I'm sorry. That was private. Let me do it again. Octavia, 13 AC. And do you have something that prevents shock damage?
Yep.
Okay. And then the next one on Burdock hits a 26 AC.
Oh my
yikes.
gosh.
And let me check the
I mean, we just leveled up, so yeah. I mean, you
2
got
points
That's
of damage.
20 plus 6.
It does 2 points of shock damage, so you would be taking 2 points.
So I don't take shock damage either, but
It hit you, so you're taking 2 points of damage. The way damage
I would
works,
take it.
the way it works is that if the shock damage inflicted would be higher than like the regular damage. In this case, I rolled a 1 on my damage die.
Okay,
The
cool.
minimum is the shock damage, so it hit you
Got
like
it.
normal for 2 damage.
So it's what does it have for weapons? You said like clawed hands.
It's just these huge clawed like paws are just clawing away at the two of you.
All
It just
right.
rears back, just
Yeah.
wildly in this swarm of bugs.
I think Burdock will like put his forearms up and like tank it, so he gets like these big claws across his forearms as he's like getting pushed back into the dirt.
Okay, then it's back to you guys. What do you want to do?
Seneka's running.
Okay,
At
so
the
you pick up the body and continue to run.
Yeah, yep.
Gotcha.
30.
Uh,
I'm gonna meet
Alright.
up with her.
okay,
And
so
then
I'll say you two meet up with each other. Are you like each one of you taking like one side of the arm and just dragging, carrying, or is there something else you're looking to do?
I'd like to just heal him here immediately.
Okay,
So
Yeah,
what
go
I'll
ahead.
do is I'll pretty much make a cut in my palm so my blood gets flowing and do a little merciful healing on him. So you see my blood flows in his wounds and cuts, pretty much starts sealing them.
okay, and you can see that massive gash just begins to just magically close, and then his eyes open like in shock, like this crazy panic starts happening as he tries to kind of look around at this point. But yeah, he is conscious now, and he stumbles a bit, but leaning against you, Seneca kind of gets his feet. So that's Vice, that's Senenka, Octavia, and Burdock. What do you two want to do?
Gonna go first, Ashley, or
Considering I know that this is a vehicle, like nearby, is there any like external like power source? Like, I'm looking for like a gas tank.
No, you don't see anything like that.
Okay.
Or battery or something.
Yeah. I'm going to like hit my torch up against like the wall kind of to try and make a really loud noise and then move behind the vehicle to put the vehicle between.
You're like a good 40 feet away from the vehicle.
Oh,
you
okay.
hung back while Seneca ran forward, and you just lit the torch and stuff like that. You never
Okay, yeah,
declared
yeah.
movement at any point. So yeah, you're
My
ways
bad.
away from it.
I'm gonna move more to like the other side of the room of like the hallway thing that led down to this cave. So basically just like across the entrance of it to the other side, and then like bang on the wall over there to try and get it to follow me, like to stay down here but just like get away from Burdock.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
No, it's fine. Are you doing a fighting withdrawal?
Yes.
Okay, because that's how you disengage without opportunity attacks.
Yes.
Okay, so you disengage for your action,
Yeah.
and then your movement is to run in the opposite direction of where like Sinenka and Vice are coming. So like you're trying to keep distance. Is that right?
So yeah, so they're like heading up the tunnel. I just want to like run across the tunnel to
Mhm.
try and keep it down here and keep
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We're on
Yeah.
the same page. Yeah,
Cool.
no problem. Okay, Burdock, you see her carefully step away from this now bear with a swarming bugs around it.
Can I tell that she's trying to draw it off, or is
Yeah,
that
for
like
sure.
obvious?
Yeah, I'm like
Okay.
stomping, being really loud.
All
Yeah,
right,
for
so
sure.
like pummeling it will probably defeat what she's trying to do. Yeah, I'm not sure what else I could do. Does it look like Snenka and Vice are having trouble with the person? Or
You look over and you can see that the person is just like suddenly awake at this point.
and are they? Sorry, are they in the process of moving them, or?
You can see that they're kind of like Seneca was carrying him kind of, and then Vice came over, cut his palm, and then kind of did some sort of. You've probably seen the magic at this point before, when managed to sort of channel the blood priest, and got this guy back up, and it just looks like this guy is just getting his footing beneath him.
So they look all right then.
They look okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one who's standing next to a 15-foot bear.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't want to take any action that'll like negate the agency of other people. I'm not really sure.
If you want to hit it, hit it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I want to hit it. So
Go right ahead.
Okay.
I'll do that. Let's see.
21.
21 certainly hits. So what does it look like as you punch this bear?
So I think it attacked Octavia and I, and Burdock kind of like jumped in front and dug in his heels and put his arms up like this, and so it scratched at him, dug furrows into his arms, and then he just turns them out and then dukes it as hard as he can across anything sort of resembling a face that it might have,
Do
and
it.
then he just tries to hit it as hard as he can.
As you're up close, as you're punching and fighting this bear, who's also kind of reared back on its hind legs and swiping at you with claws. So you're literally fisticuffing a bear here. It's hard to reach up towards its face as it's so tall, but like every now and then it does. You can see like it like there's empty sockets where the eye should be, and you can see there's what looks like old scars there, almost as if like the eyes exploded of some kind, and there's all those wounds and stuff on the face. But yeah, you punch it. It's got this very thick skin, almost like elephant-like skin, and then it's gonna. You're here. It's going to take 2 claw attacks at you. The first one hits an AC of 13. How's that looking?
That'll miss.
Okay,
So
second one.
I probably soak it with my also thick skin.
Okay, yeah. And then it tries to get you with its second claw, and it also misses. So you're
Ooh.
just you're smaller than it, and it's just that, and you're surprisingly enough, you're smaller size than what you're normally like. Normally, you're not the small one when you're fighting, right? But in this case, you are, and it's actually helping you as it's struggling to kind of reach down and hit you. And it kind of flops down into all fours and just roars this frustration out. Like,
That's right. I picture Burdock as like not tall, but just thick. Like he's
like a stocky dude,
like
a stevedore. Yeah. It'll be top of the round again. The four of you, Vice, you've managed to heal this guy, and he looks around like panicked, like, where's Sirit? Sirit? Where's Sirit? My navigator. Where?
Just you. It's just you.
With it. And then kind of panic looking around. You can tell again now at this point up close, definitely humanoid, like human. Like you can see human, human features in the face. Male, middle-aged, probably. Got almost what looks like kind of like a bandolier on that has been sort of torn to shreds a little bit here and there, and like these goggles that are hanging down along the throat. Looks around, but is sort of waiting for your direction.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get him into the shuttle if it's open.
Okay, you want to go?
You want to go back to the shuttle? So
I think I want to go back over there because I feel like people are struggling with this. There's a 45-degree angle that goes down into a very large bay. In this bay, there was a capsule about 40 feet away from the entrance to that 45-degree slope. That's where the bear was. That's where the body was of this guy. That's where all of those other like bones and stuff were. Initially, Sonika ran in, grabbed the guy, and ran back out. Vice, you ran back up and out. Burdock and Octavia, you guys kind of meandered around the entrance to the bay. Octavia, you just ran like further and deeper into the bay to try to keep the bear distracted, but Burdock stood still and is now fighting this thing. So Vice, if you want to try to get him into this capsule, you're literally running back into the bay, completely taking away what Sonika did, which was like dragging this guy out and away and towards that 45-degree slope. Not saying you can't do it. I just want everyone to be clear about what's happening here.
Yeah, my original plan was trying to get the shuttle, so I don't know why we're trying to run when we could just take this out.
Okay.
So we've basically got the guy like back up so that maybe he can kind of walk on his own.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
he
definitely can.
To accomplish.
He's got his feet and he's like kind of clinging to you here and there, and he's just disoriented and shocked and has no idea what the hell's going on. So he's looking to you guys for direction.
So I can just kind of tell him to just stay where we're at, and I can try to provide cover for Vice to try to get the capsule, and so maybe we can use that as our escape vehicle.
I'm just running back down. That's where everyone else is.
Are you going towards the capsule, or are you going towards the bear, or are you running up the slope and out?
Sorry, I might be like confusing something, but isn't the bear and the capsule in the same direction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More or
So I'm
less.
just gonna
But
run
you
towards
guys
it.
already passed the bear.
Oh, we passed the bear.
Yeah,
you guys
are
were
already
up the
heading
slope,
out.
almost out of the way. And
Yeah, you guys.
and
Sonika was evacuating. Like she was running away while Burdock and Octavia were keeping the bear occupied. You went and aided Sonika by like trying to heal the guy. That's great and all. Now the question is, are you continuing to run out? Or are you going? If you're going back into the bay where this capsule is and where this fight is now happening with this bear. So that's what I'm wanting to know.
Yeah, I'm going back in.
Okay.
Looks like they're fighting, so I'm just gonna go back.
Okay. Do you want to go towards the bear?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you can get your movement in towards the bear, and you are now in close proximity with the bear, with Burdock. You can take an action if you like.
Yeah, I like to swing with my bone sword at this bear.
Yeah, go for it. AC 14.
I just missed it. 13.
13 will miss, but your shock damage will go through as it hits AC 15 or less. This has an AC of 14, so you still managed to do 4 damage to this thing. As we'll say that despite not being able to cut through, you do manage to kind of with an offhand elbow, like you jam your other arm like into one of these like sores that's been ripped open from the bugs exploding out of its back, and you can hear it kind of roar ever so slightly. But but yeah, you weren't able to cut through it. Sinenka, Octavia, Burdock.
So I'm going to ask him, can you drive this capsule? I know you're looking for your navigator. Or can you drive the capsules?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay. Stay behind me. We're going to follow the wall of this area, and I'm going to try to get you to the capsule so that you can drive us all out of here.
Yes. I'll follow you. And he kind of puts a hand on your shoulder. Just lead the way.
Okay. So now that he can walk on his own, I'm going to have my bow out if I need to, from a little bit of a distance, and try to get him back to the capsule.
Okay. So now the bear doesn't seem to be giving you any attention whatsoever. It literally only seems to be paying attention to those that are like within the
so
swarm
I'm not
of its
going
bugs
to
or anything like that.
shoot it or do anything unless it starts coming towards the two of us.
It ran right past you as though it didn't even know you were there. Like when you were pulling the animal away. You can probably tell at this point that there's something with the bug, like there's a symbiotic relationship between the swarm of bugs and it. So as long as you're not aggravating those bugs, it doesn't seem to really pay attention to you. And so yeah, you and him just kind of take this steady path along the wall, bypassing that melee that's at the entrance to this bay, and you start moving over back towards the capsule. As you get close, you hear, "Oh no, Siren," as he looks down, and there's like this torn a shred person.
That's right.
The body is ripped in two. The legs have been like eaten away by like almost like piranhas, like tiny little mouths ripping the flesh from it.
Should have warned him.
Oh
about
my
that.
god!
Oh God.
And
Yeah.
I'm just gonna roll a luck test.
Okay.
Roll a luck test, Sunenka.
I mean, I'm fully expecting to end up that way someday. So
Someday, maybe today.
could be. You never know.
Make me
Okay.
a tree, please.
This guy just hurls like all over you and the ground, and just sort of pauses and slows down at this point, and like lets go of your shoulder as they seem to be struggling to move forward, like just in utter shock at like just the horror of this scene. Octavia and Burdock. Oh, we got some bits from Captain Karayan. Thank you very much. We got some rerolls there.
Thank you.
So enough for each one of you.
So I have an
Thank
idea.
you.
And
Thank you, sir.
Who knows if it's a good idea or not? Time will tell. You said it had a bunch of like festering sores that popped open, and it
Yeah.
had like ragged flesh around those wounds or whatever.
Yeah.
Burdock must have like, so it looked like Vice had like elbowed one with his like crazy elbow bones and hurt it. So I think Burdock would like to, seeing that, grab like the edge of one of those wounds that he saw Vice kind of elbow, and then just like rip and tear and like pull. He's trying to like deglove this bear.
Oh, I love it. Oh
yeah.
God. I mean, I love it. Like it's descriptive, but God, that's disgusting.
It's terrible, and I'm a
yeah.
terrible person, but that's what I want to do.
All right, roll. I still think it's a punch strength, but I'll say if you get it, roll an extra D4 for damage if you hit on this.
Okay. Yeah, let's see.
You're gonna pull it off its flesh like a sock. Oh God.
That would be super fun.
Roll an attack, like an unarmed attack.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Still roll like you're just like your punch, because punch is still like all-purpose unarmed.
Should get some extra bonuses that way.
Yeah.
True. That happened.
That'll
you
do.
go. 24.
Things happen.
Roll an extra D4. That's a lot of damage. Roll a 10 on a D10. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
You do a
Nice
D10
roll.
for damage for your unarmed? Holy crap.
Yeah. When I took that foci, it said at level 2 you do a D10. So
That's amazing.
if that's wrong, I guess punish me. I don't know. But,
Which focus was it?
Unarmed combat.
combat. Yeah. Do you
At
have
level
that
1,
too?
you do 1D8. At level 2, they do 1D10. Level 3 does 1D12. No, you're good, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
you're
unarmed
good.
might, which is different. It's not as powerful.
Yeah, like I said, I should be way better at punching the things now. But-
Well,
And you rolled a
you're-
4 on the D4. Oh my gosh.
You're clearly good at punching things because look at that roll.
yes, it should have been like this from the start, but I'm dumb.
You
So-
you jam your hand into one of the more recent openings where an explosion happened. You grab hold of it, you take the other hand, you jam in there too, and you just and like you're pulling off like the world's largest band-aid. You just rip the entire glowing skin of this creature on its right hand side and down into its belly, and just rips off, and you just hear as it's almost you almost feel a bit of sympathy as this thing like yelps out like a dog that didn't know it was about to get hit by something. And now where most of its body is like this glowing wounded area, there's just this giant strip of skin that you've just ripped off, and it's hanging limping on the ground like it's, oh god, yeah. And it seems to be in quite a bit of pain. However, it's still up.
It's just totally skinless at this point.
Yeah, it's just one side of it is missing its
Ryan.
skin.
Ryan
Octavia.
called it a full body circumcision.
Pretty close.
I mean, that's what I'm aiming for.
Okay. No, that was a hell of a hit, man. Octavia,
Yay.
you are away.
Oh, God.
It didn't follow you because Burdock, it stayed and fought Burdock. What do you want to do, Octavia?
So I presume since I'm not where the bear is, that's where Sanenka and that guy kind of started walking past.
I'm assuming
Or they're not quite to
you
me
went
yet.
the opposite direction because you're trying to distract it away from them. So think of the bear.
Is
Like
like
in the-
center.
Yeah, and then you went to the right, and Vice
And
and Sonica went to the left, and because you didn't want like to interrupt, so I don't think you're by Sonica or Vice now.
Okay, cool. Then I am going to try and like circle around because I don't have its attention
Mhm.
and start heading towards the vehicle.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's easy enough. There's enough room in here that you can circle around. All right. It's going to come around to its turn. I think I'm going to have to do a morale test first. That was a brutal strike that it just took. And I'm gonna
Kind of a
see-
big deal, you know.
Yeah. It succeeds, however, on its morale test as I
Congrats.
roll. And so it will. Yeah, it's not going to run away.
Has faith in its own abilities. It's gonna
I think
more
swarm
of-
you.
Feed it its own flesh as
It's
it
not
attacks.
Palpatine. He's like Shia LaBeouf. Just do it. Like that's the bear.
It will continue its attempts to rip you apart. First attack, 25.
Well,
Again, the
that
shock
damage
damage would
roll.
be. I'm doing terrible on my damage roll. So 2 points of damage on the
take
first.
it.
Then the second attack. Come on. 18.
That'll hit, yeah.
That's 2 more points. Damn, I rolled another one.
Another
What?
one. That's all you've been
What is
rolling.
crap? However, it does have this ability
What's that?
called Bear Hug.
No.
If a victim is
I
hit
love hugs.
by both paws in the same round, the bear hugs for an extra 2d8 automatic damage. So it's
I
just
feel like Octavia wants the hugs, not me.
sorry, man. As you circumcised it, as it's now reaching down, it grabs Burdock and just and tries to like kind of pull him apart. So 2
It's like
d8,
Ren in old 3rd edition D&D.
8 more points of damage.
Well,
Oh.
that's I had 6, so
Oh no.
You are down, sir. As you guys see, as Burdock just drops to the ground, as this thing rips its head around, still glowing, and like that long scab that Burdock ripped off is still flapping around in front of him.
God.
it was worth it. I regret nothing.
Dude, it does not look good. This thing looks very, very injured, like very injured. But it did pass its morale test, so I figured it stood its ground. It's in its den
Yeah,
after
this
all.
is exciting.
Okay, it's back to you guys.
Vice. Fuck him up.
I finished the job Burdock started,
Okay, go for it.
cutting off the bear skin that's now showing.
Okay, why are we skinning bears tonight? Why are we skinning bears?
We
They're
want
beautiful
glowing
creatures.
Pelts.
Just to not be that person, but to be that person. Was Burdock frail?
No, he wasn't. He got
Whoa.
magically healed by
Oh.
Vice.
Yes, he did.
Oh,
He
okay,
got
good.
magically Vice is on the previous session.
but I appreciate the attempt to murder me.
I checked my notes.
I also
I
agree.
truly do.
Let's get this guy out of here.
It's like,
Yeah.
just a small question, minor detail.
No worries.
Again, your sword just won't cut through, but you do again. Like you're continuing to like sort of jam away at like the exposed underflesh, and you do manage to do some shock damage to it. And this thing is really laboring. You can see it's blood just spurting out from his wounds. This thing's on its last legs for sure. Octavia, Sinenka, what do you want to do?
Shoot it. Sinenka.
Okay.
I don't have ranged.
Is the guy close enough that he can get in?
Remember he
unharmed?
stopped because he saw it and he's just like hurling now. He basically got stunned for a round because of
Okay.
the
So
shock.
you're just bodyguarding.
Can
You
I
just
try to
keep
do
right past his
more
friend.
Full hurl
Yeah.
actions every
Yep.
round.
That was
You're like,
bad.
was there another bear? No, it's just this dude. He's just throwing up all over the place.
Can I try to do like a charisma lead and just see if I can get him back focused on the task at hand?
Yeah, sure, that's fine. I'll free action for that. We'll say. I don't want to.
7.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like, okay, okay.
Sorry, I
Okay.
should have warned you. I'm sorry. We got to get out of here though. We're trying to avoid that from happening to everybody
Okay.
else and get you out safely.
And as you say that, you look over his shoulder and you can see Burdock falls to the ground,
Shirt in tatters. Just
just ripped up.
I'd like to think he ripped his own shirt.
Just as he's going down. It's Hulk Hogan at the end. Oh,
All right, so then I will shoot my bow, if that's acceptable. 'cause I
okay,
had
we'll
it
say a
ready.
move action. You can kind of get your weapon out.
And I had it ready as we were going. I had it ready, just in case I needed it.
Okay. I mean, at some point you were carrying him, so.
Once he was on his feet. And we
Okay. Yeah,
started
All right. Yeah.
sliding
Go ahead.
back
Shoot.
against the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and shoot.
AC 14.
AC 14 is exactly enough. 2 points
Ooh.
of damage. Still up. It's still up. It's got 2 health left. Octavia.
Okay.
It's in charge range for you.
Yep, we're doing it. I'm charging.
Finish it off. If it doesn't, I'm gonna roll again a morale test, and then I'm gonna roll in its instinct, and one of its instincts is that it devours a downed enemy. So I'm just warning you.
Oh
all.
fuck. Okay.
you have rerolls.
18. 7
That'll do it.
damage.
How do you kill this thing, Octavia?
So you guys watch as Octavia just kind of like gets down and just starts charging, and she's got her short sword out, and she comes up and she leaps on its back because Burdock's kind of beneath it, and I just kind of reach over and I slit its throat open. So sorry for the bloodbath, Burdock, but
It's
maybe
the
that'll
the
help
only
you get
bath I've
healed.
had ever. So
Jeez.
As this thing falls, it lands on top of Burdock. It falls. Its skin continues to erupt post-mortem, and you can see the bugs just begin to erupt smaller and smaller, the deeper and deeper the pustules were, and eventually like the swarm fills up the area. It doesn't attack you guys. It just sort of swarms around you momentarily, and then you can see it disappear deeper into the bay. Like it just kind of goes off into the darkness. It doesn't leave. It just goes deeper into the bay.
Okay.
But you look around and you can see that Burdock is on the ground. He's got a vicious couple of claw marks. His arm is kind of limp, like you think his shoulder might be possibly out of joint as he's laying there on the ground. But we're out of initiative.
Okay.
We'll track it in terms of turns just for heal's sake. If Vice, if you want to roll a stabilize.
Yeah, I can get him stable here.
I mean, he might not.
And I'm just gonna continue to escort the guy inside the capsule.
Oh, I got a 6,
Oh,
so
no.
it fails the first time.
Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to remember how to do this.
We have rerolls.
Yeah, we do have rerolls. Go ahead and burn a reroll for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So we've got 3 left. No, yeah, 3 left. But you can only use,
Twelve.
use it
12
once.
this time, so
12's enough.
Ooh.
12 will do. So you get one. Yeah, so you drag him out from underneath the bear. He's covered in his own blood, some of the blood of this creature. You quickly do some CPR, and you get a pulse, get a heartbeat, and within about 10 minutes, you can see that he's kind of starts to come to. It takes a couple minutes to get him going, but you can tell he doesn't look good, but he's all right. You bring the guy Seneca into the capsule, and he starts moving around to the different consoles, and you see him start pushing buttons, pulling levers. Lights begin to come on inside. There's 2 seats that are right next to these consoles, and then there's like these extended benches in the back that line the back side of the capsule itself. And he motions for you all to come inside. He's like, I'll have to navigate and pilot at the same time.
Thank you.
Could you
And one of us
you-
navigate for you, or is that nothing?
do you have experience?
Never touched this thing in my life.
Could one of you perhaps wrap my brother up in a tarp and drag him inside?
Does it look like
Sure.
the body's infected with bugs? Like,
No, it looks like it's been eaten. Like the
Okay.
bottom half of the body's been eaten by bugs, and the top half has been partially eaten
Yikes.
by a bear.
okay. Just making sure, like, it's not going to be like an alien thing where it's just going to be like, here's more.
Oh,
That's not
my
a game that Jeff also runs, right? That's-
Totally not something Jeff would love to do.
goodness.
Actually, weren't there?
I'm sorry. I was
Like-
looking at other Logan's comment in chat. I'm just like, I didn't
Uh,
know you could grow facial hair like that, Logan.
Didn't you say when I looked at the other body that there were little holes?
Yeah, like it was eaten.
Hmm.
I believe him. I believe. Okay.
Roll an insight test to see if your GM is lying. Yeah, he
No. Melissa, roll sand. Obviously, we're traumatized.
I'll wrap him up and bring him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you wrap him up. You bring Burdock inside. Do all of you come inside?
I mean, if I'm mobile, yeah. Did I
Yeah.
get any like HP back from
You get
that?
one
You
one
get
HP
one.
back from just the stabilization.
Still alive.
For now.
For now, that's right. Nothing's for certain.
Okay.
Yeah, we might as well all get in because it's gonna be bright and loud. So who knows
Oh,
what the
yeah.
hell's
Sure.
gonna come.
Sure. So you guys all get
I
inside.
don't like it when Jeff does that.
And he uses some controls, and you can see that suddenly you hear like machinery moving outside, like and the capsule just like it's moving around like it's on tracks, and you see it move around without him doing any sort of controls, like it's automatically doing this. It gets set like right into the middle of the bay, as if it's like pointing up that 45-degree angle, and you see it start to kind of get pulled back. You hear it as slowly you retreat,
Are we gonna get slingshot out of this thing?
and then
Man, I
you
hope
hear
so.
boom. And as you guys start going up the 45-degree angle, it occurs to you that as you were traveling down it, there were numerous cave-ins blocking the path upward. That's what I was grinning about. So, as you guys
Pilot
try,
sucks.
he's not even
He
piloting
wasn't
it.
like. This guy
So,
blows.
as you guys go up the incline, you get like the speed is significant. You guys see up ahead these huge like cave-ins that you guys walked past here and there, and he's like, "You didn't say the tunnel was blocked." All of you roll a luck test.
Mm,
Thought you were a competent pilot. I don't know.
I'm not even piloting yet. It's automated until we leave. Just a luck.
Here we go.
Okay.
Are we supposed to roll a D100? Like,
No,
Oh,
I just
no,
want to.
sorry.
I want to
No.
luck. Hit luck.
That was my bad.
Okay.
can I use my reroll?
Yes, you can use your rerolls. There's 3 left, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. Who failed their luck save?
I passed.
I failed.
Okay. Vice failed. Burdock, you might want to reuse yours. You want to
Okay.
reroll that? Use a reroll for that.
Oh, we got 2 more. We were down to 1 and now we're back up to 3.
Thank you, Karayan. This might keep you guys alive.
We're
did
not doing a very good job of giving this guy information that
Vice want to
would be
reroll?
helpful.
Hey, the lollygaggers with the Z, what's going on? Oh no. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
As you guys start hurtling through, you smash into the rock. The opening, kind of this panel in front that you know from the outside is opaque, but from the inside, looking outward, you can see it coming. Rock smashes and cracks and rips through. You can hear the as on the sides, like the rock that's on the side of this splattered tunnel starts to rip through it. I'm gonna give you guys one action, as you can tell that this thing is crashing most spectacularly, and it's going to be leaping up out of end. You can see that on the side where both Vice and Burdock are, is getting the worst of it. You guys get one action. What would you like it to be as this thing's about to explode, as it's ripping through this tunnel?
Burdock grabs the box as they pass by it and drags it into the cab of the capsule.
Did you leave it outside, or did you left it outside?
I did, yeah. When
okay,
I
it's outside still. You guys are still in the tunnel coming up. Burdock is looking versus where you realize that the littlest, tiniest bit of damage that occurs to him is going to kill him.
Yeah, we died together, me and Box.
I don't know.
Everyone gets one action. You're inside of this tumbling, smashing capsule as it's ripping through, bouncing off the walls of this launch tube that's been covered in of cave-ins the whole way.
Oh.
You guys are still in the castle. You can see the lights coming. It's about to rip free. The guy's cursing. And he's like, I've lost control. This is what is wrong? It's cursing left and right.
Abandoned vehicle. Jump.
Okay, so
You hit
Senenka,
the eject button and you just shoot out of it.
Okay, Senenka, you're jumping out the side of the door. That's fine. Okay,
Yes.
got your action. Again,
That I am.
everyone gets one action.
I cradle Box to my chest.
For my on turn action counts as main action sort of things, right? You
Yeah.
can do both. Okay.
Yeah.
So for my on turn, I want to use Fear No Flame, my new Blood Priest spell. So pretty much I commit effort on turn. I'll be immune to non-magical flames or smoke explosive damage.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then I want to, what's the action? I want to cover Burdock. Sort of deal.
You want to cover him? What do you mean?
In roses or
Smother him with
Actually
kisses?
Screen them.
What is it? Total
Sort of like
defense.
screening, I guess.
with a sheet?
Okay. So you're screen ally.
Yeah,
I get
screen
what you're saying.
ally.
Yeah. So
Oh.
you're gonna take whatever damage. Okay, I get what you're saying.
It's a
As you
lot
kind
less
of-
romantic than I was looking forward to, but I'll take it.
Throw him to the ground and you just drape yourself over top of him. Okay. All right. Octavia, what are you doing? Sonika, you're hopping out. Octavia, what are you doing? Vice and Burdock are staying in this thing. They're in it for the crash. Sonika's
In it
hopping
to
out.
win it.
Both of those things have negative consequences, but Sonika hopped out.
I feel like there aren't any positive consequences.
Right.
Oh
there.
no.
Yeah. When you're in a crashing vehicle, there are very few good options.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump out and
Okay.
with my savage talons and just kind of try and catch myself.
Okay. I think the guy will go ahead and follow Senenka out as well. So those of you that are jumping out,
Everybody's ditching.
go ahead. Go ahead and roll either. Let's see. Exert probably would make sense. Yeah, I would say exert, and then the two of you can choose between strength or dex, Octavia and Seneca, as you leap out.
Okay, since I'm trying to like claw, I'm gonna do strength if that's cool.
I'm gonna do
Yeah,
dex.
that's fine. Whatever you prefer. Yeah, I think exert makes the most sense because it's such a physical thing.
Eek. I'm gonna use one of the additional rerolls that we've gotten.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
11.
With a 10 and 11, both of you managed to jump out and land just before this thing explodes out the entrance and up into the mountain, right? Like you hop out before it bursts through the opening in the peak of the mountain, and you both land. You're going to take minimum damage of 2d6s. Both of you can go ahead and take 7 points of damage as you come tumbling around, rolling, bouncing against the walls, ripping and cutting. And I'm going to say that since both of you rolled so well, you managed to get the guy out as well as he hops with you. So 3 of you. Meanwhile, Vice and Burdock, you two just burst through the opening of this mountain. Sonica,
Kool-Aid Man.
Octavia, you two watch as the capsule explodes outward in an arc, smashing right into this huge peak, bouncing around, pinballing down the side of the mountain a ways and out of your sight. Vice, because you're screening him, you're going to go ahead and manage to save Burdock's life. Otherwise, I think Burdock would have died. Vice, you will be immune to the explosive damage. But I'm still going to say just the physical getting tossed around as you're sort of bouncing down the path is still going to do a not insignificant amount of damage. I'm going to say it's going to be 2d8 worth of damage as you take 10 points of damage. And this is, again, just from like hanging on to him and like bouncing left and right. Fire begins to erupt inside, but those flames just mute themselves against the magical aura that you have pulsating around you. As you eventually come to a stop, Burdock, you're coughing from all the smoke that's beginning to overtake this capsule. Somehow, you both have survived this explosion.
I'm just gonna take note of some of these adjectives: fire burning inside, pulsating. There are other things thrown out there.
Yeah.
Burdock's gonna slowly come to and see Vice
Cradling you in
cradling
his
me
arms.
like a wee baby.
Let's start dragging him out of here.
So you drag him out, and you look around, and you are somewhere on the edge of the mountain. This capsule you're in is burning on fire. You can see that there's some kind of fluid that's leaking out from the crash itself. That's catching, and the fire itself is like catching. And you realize you start to drag. You two start to stumble away. You look around for any sign of Octavia and Sonica. You see nothing whatsoever.
Shit, we split the party. Never
It's a
split the
miracle
party,
we're
man.
alive.
Yeah.
Can we see the husk from here?
No, you guys were kind of pointing in a northeasternly direction. You can see the lake, however. Yeah, you're kind of up on a ridge. You don't see any clear path moving down, but you can certainly see the Lake Woosterok down there.
I may be injured, but I can enjoy the view.
Sonica and Octavia and this pilot that you all managed to rescue, you all stumble to your feet as you emerge from the entrance to this whatever this was, this bay, covered in soot, covered in grime, cuts, flame here and there, coughing a bit, but again alive. And you look around and you've lost sight of both Vice and Burdock as the capsule disappeared over the side of the mountain.
Is there like smoke? We can like obviously we know it had to hit somewhere.
Roll a notice whiz, both of you. DC, I'm gonna say, DC 6 to see the smoke, DC 8 to like get more.
That's a 5.
7.
Okay. Octavia, you can see smoke off to the northeast. That's all you really
Okay.
can see. You're not really sure. You see laying on the ground, by the way, because I'm pretty sure Burdock left I think you left the box outside of the entrance to this 45-degree
I tried to
slope.
use my one
Think-
action to snatch it as we rocketed by, but I don't know if that's feasible or not.
You were literally inside a subway car. I don't
Yeah,
know if you
alright.
could reach
True.
out and grab it.
Damn
Yeah.
it.
I'll grab
Uh,
the box.
But Sona, yeah, so I was gonna say, like, one of you
Farewell,
grab it.
sweet
Yeah.
box.
So Octavia, Sonenka, you travel for a little bit in the direction. This guy's just sort of following you at this point, limping. And eventually you come to the a ledge, like a cliffside, and you look down, and you would say at least 700 to 1,000 feet below, you can see smashed up against this large outcropping at the bottom of a rocky slope, no path whatsoever going down towards it. You can see the capsule has been stuck. Vice and Burdock, you look around, you don't see any easy way out of here.
Could I go back to the first crash site where it had all of that fabric
Sure.
and maybe do like a craft test to cut it, spend the time to cut it up and like tie it together to some sort of like
There's probably not that much for 700 to 1,000 feet worth. But
There's
yeah,
some
grub-
you can get some strips. Yeah.
There's some grub bear flesh you might be able to.
I don't know if I want
It's
It's
that.
pretty sturdy, that stuff.
I don't know how I want
AC
that.
14 on that.
So we're like stuck in some kind of weird ass canyon.
Yeah, you're basically caught between the slope of the mountain and this this secondary small peak, and you guys are just right in the cradle between the two of them. There's no easy way down, no easy way up.
So, how easy is it for Vice to produce bone shards? And are bone shards denser than this rock?
So Crustacarian bones are incredibly dense. They get actually hard more, they harden once they're like kind of detached because they're like they shed them. They're able to shed them and then craft with them, and that's why they're able to make weapons out of them. What level are you, Vice? You're 4?
4.
Most of what you've probably used them for so far are your weapons, but you probably have a little bit of excess here and there considering your age and your level.
I'm wondering
Enough.
if we can make them into pitons or something.
I
I
mean,
have a
before I start
question.
using myself as a stepladder, I could use the materials that I own.
Just
Oh, you
jam
actually-
them in the mountainside.
You actually have some. You have some. What do you have? Pitons? You have long?
If you want to include it in the dungeoneering kit at all, because I do have a giant kit.
Yeah, that's fine. It sounds fine to me. I'm okay with that. I think that's reasonable to assume that you have some kind of climbing assistance in there. Sure. You do not have
Imagining that
1,000 feet of
conversation.
rope, though.
No? What?
There's
So-
no 1,000 feet of rope.
I'm imagining
This
more of
is
the conversation is like,
bullshit.
"Hey, can we use your bones to?" And then he's just like
Yeah.
going through his bag and pulling out that like.
Once he
Or like,
starts
hey,
having
can you pop some like some of your elbow off?
just like
I gotta tell you,
and then
Vice is the hero of the day because he quite literally saved Burdock's life. Burdock would be
Sure
dead
did.
right now if
Yeah,
you
he
hadn't
would.
used that ability. Because I was more
that's why
than
he's
happy.
like he's googly eyed.
Yeah.
He stares at Vice quite a bit. He doesn't say anything.
Amazing.
And then
But
creepily asked for part of his body.
Amazing. Perfect
Um,
ability to grab for this. Who would have thought? Like, this would have been the perfect ability for tonight. Like, the chances of that. Like, you grabbed it. Like, this probably isn't going to come into play very often. But bam, right off the bat.
Meanwhile, I was
Um,
like, "Hey, there's a thing with swarms. We haven't run across a swarm before. I won't get that one."
Octavia, you had a question.
Can I carry things while flying?
While flying? What do
Yeah,
you mean? You can fly?
I can manifest wings.
You can manifest wings. Okay, what
That's
does
a
it give
great
you? A
face.
fly speed?
Yes, so this shape can form usable wings. You can't effectively attack while concentrating on remaining aloft, but I can fly at my normal movement rate
Okay.
plus 10 per action. If unhindered in flying overland, I can travel up to 10 miles an hour.
Okay.
You're a
Yeah,
wizard,
exactly.
Harry.
Yeah. I would say you can carry I would say you would not be able to carry anything more than your normal load. just because it would probably be too much. But I would say you might be able to carry, like, if you stripped of your other bags and weapons and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you would probably then be able to carry one of them.
Okay.
So
So
she just like dropped
Sinenka
everything.
watches as like Octavia just kind of like walks up to the ledge and starts taking off her armor and stuff and just kind of dropping it on the ground. And then she hunches over and then kind of like a gargoyle, you see like her shoulders start to shift just nasty. And then suddenly this because it's almost like just a replica of her claws like rips out of her back, and then a membrane kind of like stretches between her back and her arms, and those are her wings. And you just I've never done this before, but like very resigned, she just kind of like leaps off the cliff, and then you watch for a moment as she free falls until her wings finally like catch an updraft and she's actually flying.
Imagining like Keith David's Goliath in Disney's Gargoyles.
Oh,
He, like,
yeah.
breaks out of the
Ooh,
stone.
That's cool.
Oh, God. I
No,
love
she's a
gargoyles.
little bit
Gargoyles
more
is great.
fleshy.
So
Yeah.
Senenka was
Oh, no, she's a
definitely
glow
like,
bear. Shoot her.
oh, she's changing. Let me take a step back from this.
Meanwhile, the guy you're saying is just like,
My name
he's
is
had a rough
Greg.
day. He's carrying. He only was able to grab like the half-eaten legs of his brother. That's all he's got.
Oh.
Like the torso's gone.
I'm a plumber.
All right. So Vice, as you are like getting your climbing gear out, getting it ready, all of a sudden you see this figure, this shadow from above begin to swoop down. Do you guys start taking shots at it? Range attacks, right?
I don't
Like we just take alcohol shot.
Take shot. But Octavia swoops down and lands next to you.
Oh,
I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't either. Oh. And Octavia will just kind of come up and she'll go behind Murdoch and just kind of like grab him by his your vest to see how well that kind of holds you and like your backpack, and I like do a brief test of like lifting to see how well you'll stay, and I'm
Everything you touch is sensitive.
yeah,
Like,
you should
winces.
Yes.
you should probably hug me. So we're gonna do like where you like turn around and you like wrap your legs around my waist.
All
And
right.
you
He has, like,
you
these, like-
princess hold.
He has these like really stiff quills. Like some of them come out of his face, some of them come out of his forearms and stuff. And they're like, as you like try to help him,
They're like
you see them, they like curl up, like they
Aw.
become softer and like, yeah. So
it's
he doesn't
not like this is disgusting.
no, he doesn't get all like defensive and spiky.
Aw.
Like his spikiness like kind of curls in a little bit. And then,
Cool. And then
Okay.
I would like to fly him up.
Okay. Do you want to return to where you left the cart, or do you want to fly all the way back up to where Sonica is? It would probably be shorter to get back to your cart.
I'm gonna
Remember,
fly
you
him
guys left the cart by the previous
Mhm,
previous crash
crash
site.
site.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I don't want to leave him by himself because I'm gonna come back for Vice. So I'm gonna leave him up
Okay.
with Sonenka.
So you're gonna fly him all the way back up.
You're gonna make him climb
Senenka.
down.
Murdoch has so many conflicted emotions. There are so many rad, badass things happening right now.
Right? It's probably a
You-
good plan though, because other people might be going to the other crash site.
Yeah.
You ripped the skin off a glowing bear
Yeah.
and did like 24 damage in a
You
attack.
did a live
You're good,
circumcision.
dude, and you're level
Like a
2.
whole body.
like you just, oh god.
Nope, starstruck, totally starstruck.
All right, so you swoop down, you get Vice. Do you go all the way back up again for Vice? Because it says you can fly up to 5 hours, but you're good. Like you have plenty of time to do this.
Yeah, I'll probably want us all to travel together.
Okay. So we'll say you're able to swoop down, get everybody, and make it back to your mule and crash site. With a storm coming in, you can see, but nonetheless worse for wear. Some of you more injured than others. Burdock frail still. Remember, if he takes any damage, it goes to 0. He's dead. What is the plan here? Because it's like afternoon. It's 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. There's a storm on the horizon. It's almost on you. You have this crash site here in front of you. You have a survivor with you. What do you guys want to do?
Probably find like a cave or a nice spot to rest at for the day.
Okay.
Get to know what happened with this guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe,
While we're doing that, definitely asking him lots of questions about like where did he come from and where was he flying
Okay.
to, and
There's enough caves along the mountainside that you can probably find somewhere to, probably near where you kept your mules and your cart. But who would like to roll the like? I want someone to roll just kind of like a personality thing, because there's a lot of stuff has gone down. This guy is thankful towards you guys, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be 100%
I do
forthcoming with
not.
everything.
I don't want to roll it, but I do have well met as a
Yeah,
fake
you
guy.
get the bonus to the thing.
Yeah.
Who would
Soninka is going to
the
you know
bonus
kind
to
of
the thing?
nudge Octavia and
I get the
just say,
bonus
like,
to the thing. Yeah,
You know, the thing with the thing.
my charisma is trash.
Yeah, but you're the chatty buddy person.
She.
So Soninka's gonna go over to Octavia and just say, like, I failed to mention a few important details to him earlier, like the status of his brother, so I might not be the best person to chat with him. But
He's just clinging to the wrapped up legs.
Yeah.
Um,
There's like a couple of femurs like sticking out of the back.
Octavia is gonna nudge Vice and be like, "Can we do like what service could you?"
Yeah, because Vice seems very comforting.
I'll dig a
Oh,
hole.
I could cut up his leg and drain the blood out into my book.
holy
Okay,
crap.
maybe
No,
not. You
no.
You don't do funeral rites, like.
Pulls
That's
him
the greatest
away.
honor. What do you mean? The flowing of red rivers.
So Octavia's gonna be like, kind of like, oh god, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And she's gonna go over and, do you want to bury your brother?
I would like to return him to my people.
Okay. Do you want me to rest him in our cart? Cause I know you want to hold him, but maybe that's a little traumatic.
You can put it
Roll-
in the box. I
Do you
got the
wanna
I got the
cook?
box.
Roll like a charisma, like I don't know, convince or something like that. Yeah, convince is probably fine.
Oh, that's a 3.
We have rerolls.
Okay. He just says, no. I want to. I'll hold him. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate what you've done for me. It's been a very trying day. I think I'll just
What?
rest if that's all right with you.
Okay. What? I'm sorry we weren't sooner. What happened though?
We were tasked with finding other launch sites like this one, and we found one, obviously. But when we were trying to get within the automated radius where we could enter the bay, some sort of malfunction, and we crashed into the side of the mountain instead. I think we both survived the crash itself, but it wasn't long before that creature was on us. And in our weakened state, my brother was unconscious. I was unable to fend it off. But I thank you all for coming to save me, nonetheless. If only,
Where?
I pray, if only you would have come sooner.
Yeah. We saw the crash. Where are your people?
And you see, he kind of, it's at that point he gets very guarded.
We just want to help return you and your brother.
I am a ways to the north. If you could help me return to a settlement of some kind, I will make my own way back.
Okay. Yeah. And then Octavia will kind of like get her pack and give him her like my bedroll or whatever I've got. so he can rest.
Thanks you. But you could tell he's still really guarded. Like he'll tell you everything about like the crash and stuff like that. But the minute you asked about like where, he just clammed up at that point. Like,
Yeah.
no, that was a no go.
Sounds like he's not from Husk, y'all.
Doesn't sound like
Definitely
it.
not from the Husk.
Secret tunnel civilization.
Posture check.
Thanks, Gabe. Okay, so we'll do a night, and then we can kind of trek back, and then we'll call it. So we shouldn't be much longer unless we get some crazy rolls. But go ahead and do a night's worth of rest. And do you guys? So I just had it up. So natural healing. A wounded creature recovers its level or hit dice in lost hit points after every night's rest, assuming you're properly fed and sheltered, which you guys are. You found a cave, camping out. You have rations on you still. And you lose 1 point of accumulated system strain. However, frail creatures do not recover hit points or lose system strain from rest. So if Burdock...
I'm still at 1?
Yeah.
So normally, though, if I wasn't frail, would I roll the 2d6 plus 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's how we've been doing it, right? It's been a couple weeks, but I think you roll your hit dice, and you take that much amount of healing back is how we've been playing it.
Gotcha.
Okay. So what we'll then do is you guys have you're fairly high up. You could kind of backtrack the way you came, or you can kind of take a more direct route back to Husk. It's kind of up to you all. You would know that the most direct route would have you traveling kind of across the mountaintops for a bit before getting down into the slopes towards where Husk is. Or you could take a longer route, which means going back towards the lake, and then it's not up in the mountains, so it's kind of up to you all. Basically, mountains are a little slower than being on flat ground, but the mountains have fewer hexes to travel, so it's kind of like a column A, column B type of thing. Like, take your pick.
I would vote fewer hexes.
Yeah, I would vote more direct, but
Okay.
I also am really badly wounded. So.
Yeah. Could we do more first aid on him?
Morning can come around at this point, and that resets some of like committed. If you guys have been committing some of your stuff, yeah.
Oh, you
magical
could
heal
magically heal. Yeah.
Okay. So you're
It's not
magically
gonna
healing in the
help
morning.
Burdock's
let me do
man
that.
crush at all. So
Okay. So in the morning, you see the man. He's still kind of clinging to his brother's legs as you cut your hand and heal Burdock a bit. Does he take system strain for that, Vice? Or is that's
No.
first aid, right?
If it's
That's
in
just
combat, he
first
does.
aid.
Okay,
But since
so
we're out of combat, he won't.
we're out of combat. It's fine. Okay. So you lose your frail condition and you get 11 hit points back.
yeah, 11. Wow, then I'm at full.
Yep.
Very nice.
Right on.
Okay. So you guys take the shorter distance. Sinenka, go ahead and just give me...
Do we, before we leave, did we want to commit a day to looking for old artifacts inside this thing? Would that guy let us?
Oh, trying to find some ancient stuff.
So I want to ask him basically, is there anything you want us to salvage from this before we leave?
It is not yours.
For
so
you.
your salvage claim for me.
Is there anything that you want us to help you get from this before we leave?
There are a few personal items that I'll grab. But otherwise, I would prefer you leave it be. And I'll return if I can with proper equipment to make repairs.
Should we try and hide it?
It's quite large. I don't think we have the capacity. The mountains are a little bit out of the way. I doubt anyone would come up here if they haven't already reached here from the smoke.
Okay.
It's died down
sure.
at this point. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. But it seems a tall task.
Because Octavia was thinking about knocking down some trees, maybe.
There are no trees.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, just remember, like, everything on that kind of grayish brown, like, there's no greenery. Like, that's why, like very literally how the hexes are. Like, it's just
Yeah.
dreary wasteland. Like,
Yeah,
occasionally
yeah.
there's plants and stuff here and there, but like big trees and forests, no. And that's why, like, that one forested region to the
Was
east
really
was so
weird.
surprising. I
Yeah.
was like, oh wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like fairly sparse.
Okay. So you guys travel across the mountain. You make a note, obviously, of where this was, and you guys can decide. You guys can always return to places, even if you're not on like a specific job or something like that. You travel across the mountains a bit, and most of it's slow travel. Like, there's some roads, some mountain paths here and there, but a lot of the times you find yourselves struggling a bit with the mules and with the wagon. The mules themselves are probably fine. It's more the wagon that's giving you trouble here and there, but it's slow going. Sonaka's out in front trying to trailblaze. At a certain point, however, you can see another storm begins to roll in, and you can see from a distance, like, there's heavy, violent strikes of lightning. But you can also see that it doesn't look like a rainstorm. There's like a color to the clouds themselves that gives you a little bit of concern. Anybody who would like to, you can roll a no whiz or a no int to see if you can recognize this. DC 10.
Sure.
No int or no whiz, whatever you prefer.
That's a 6. And a 3, and a 3.
Not like a survival
It's
thing.
up to Burdock. Survival, I'll take 2. Yeah, survival's fine.
Oh. That's
Just you
fine.
can just add the bonus that you would have had from your survival to your roll. Then Sonica
That's
and,
an 8.
and Octavia. Okay, it's still not enough to identify this.
Yep.
Okay. As far as you're aware, it just looks like a normal storm. You're so high up that you don't really see precipitation, so you might be able to kind of pass through it. The winds kick up, and at a certain point, all of you begin coughing. And you realize there's something kind of flittering around in the air a bit as the winds are like kind of whipping against you all. Everybody go ahead and make an exert con test, DC 10.
Do it as soon as the forge stops crashing. Let's see.
Oh, you're
I'm gonna
crashing?
reroll.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Got a 10.
Okay,
Oh,
you're
I
good.
rerolled
You pass.
exactly the same thing.
How'd you do, Octavia?
I failed.
Okay.
We have rerolls if you want it.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
10.
Yay.
I'll roll Burdock since he's having some trouble.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to have it on private. I'll roll again.
Got it back. You said, what was it?
Rolled a 5. You didn't
All right,
do so
well,
well,
that's
unfortunately.
what it was.
All right. So,
We do have a reroll if you want it.
yeah, if you want to roll, if you're in and you want to use it, you
We've
can
got
burn
like
it, it's
5
fine.
left, so.
Yeah, we're almost done for the night too. We're pretty close.
Okay,
On
so
exert.
I'll
Got about
use
5
it then.
minutes.
What was it?
Yeah,
Exert?
go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
Exert con. Yeah.
Usually pretty good at that. Let's see. Exert.
All right.
Ah.
That is a fail.
Oh
Okay.
well.
All right. After a little while, like some of you kind of cough, you eventually cover your mouths, obviously, with cloth, try to push past it, push through it. It's as you're coming down the slope of the mountain, nearing like the actual like flattened ground. You can see in the far distance, once the storm passes, you can see the enormity of Husk. You can see all these huge skyscrapers and things like that, partially destroyed, partially in ruins. Some of you begin to start suffering some peculiar effects. Sunenka, you notice as you're starting to going down the mountain, you feel like your breathing begins to change, and you start having trouble as you're moving. You get like exhausted, like utterly exhausted, and you're having trouble just like carrying your pack. You kind of have to like unsling your pack and throw it onto the mule at this point, or onto the cart, and you just continue to. Right down when you get to the actual flattened ground, you see some of like these enormous craters in the ground. You feel yourself go frail, and you're just like as if like just the subtlest fall, like if you just tripped and fall, you might rip and tear something. As you're standing there, like bent over at one point, kind of coughing and coughing, you feel like your chest just begin to just like rip and shred, and all of a sudden you start hacking, and these small mites, this swarm of them, just erupt out of your mouth like Candyman. And they just pour out, and you collapse unconscious to the ground. Take 3 points of damage from the trauma of that, by the way. And then Burdock, sort of in the same vein, like hours kind of pass, you start hearing this horrible ringing in your ears, like just the worst tinnitus that just gets louder and louder and louder. And it's at a certain point that you actually begin to notice a pattern, as if there's like communicative efforts, like there's signal patterns, there's an SOS, you're hearing weird rhythms, you're seeing structure to it. It's not just random sounds. And you feel like liquid sloshing around in your inner ear canal. I want you to roll. So go ahead. No, go ahead. We're going to go ahead and say.
I was going to make a stupid joke. I was going to say, does the rhythm take control?
You start dancing.
Yeah.
Does it move you?
Okay.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay. And a little bit of blood trickles down your ear, but you just continue to travel with like trying, like whenever any of you look over towards Burdock, you just see him kind of lost in thought and distracted, his head kind of like shaking every now and then, as if he's like in conversation with somebody that you don't see, and he's just like shaking them off or nodding.
He's hearing stuff, what is coming from his ears, but it doesn't have any other sort of effect. Or
that's it.
Yeah, I guess he'll just try to muddle through.
Yeah, you don't feel, but you guys do see as you get towards the flattened grounds, you can see a few miles ahead of you to the west are the large kind of pylons that lead to the bridge that crosses over to Big Husk, and Seneca collapses.
Oh, I'll try to lift her up so she can get back on her feet.
Yeah, she's unconscious.
Oh, well, shit, I'll carry her then. I don't have a box, so...
Can we try and resuscitate her?
Vice, roll a heal test. Okay.
9.
You notice that there's something you think as you're looking at her airwave, there's something lodged down her throat. And you first thought when you looked at her that it had something to do with her, that she has that implant in her throat that allows her to kind of mimic certain animal calls and things. But as you look a little bit more closely, you see it. Her neck is like kind of swelling off to the side a bit. You think there's something growing there. There's like a sac down there that's growing.
Okay.
Can we see it by opening our mouth up? Can we see it?
You can barely see it, but it's kind of lodged deep down the throat.
Oh God.
You think you could remove it with some surgery, but it might take a little time. You can see what looks like those tall, massive pylons and the floating platforms of Big Husk in the west. You guys are probably about 2 to 3 hours from Big Husk. So you can either choose to... Go ahead.
I was going to say, does it look super urgent? Like he's got to do a tracheotomy now, or does it look like maybe he'd be better off going to town?
Vice, you know that you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't, because this is not a sterile environment for surgery, which could result in some potential infections. But yeah, you also worry about what might happen if that were to burst.
I don't really have surgery tools. I don't know if that comes into play.
What
It's
you
your
mean?
decision.
Gross
You're the
bones
healer.
that grow out of your body aren't sanitary? What?
I'm just gonna take her in. We're close.
Okay,
We'll see what
fair
happens.
enough. So you guys continue the rest of the way. You eventually,
Can we hustle? Can we like
Mhm.
move? Yeah. Okay.
And eventually you
Yeah.
make it across the bridge into Big Husk once more, and you immediately go and you find somewhere for Senenica to have her surgery. And I think we're going to end here at arriving at Big Husk, and we'll tackle some of this, and we'll meet Melissa's new character next week.
It's
So,
is it the throat thing that comes out? Is that
might be.
the new character?
Might be. All right, yeah,
I
so
will
we'll end
be a swarm.
We'll end there. Cool. Go ahead and take her. Was it what were we doing? 3 XP, I think it was.
Yeah,
Is that
we were
correct?
doing 3 XP.
All right, go ahead and take it.
We're on the
Awesome.
slow track, right? Just double check.
Yeah, on the sledge track, we were gonna do slow track, and then we were gonna do like this other thing that we with like what were they called? Beats and things, but we kind of stopped doing that because people kept forgetting to do it, and I kept forgetting to drive it home. So
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't screwing things up. So
no, you're good. Okay, so let's see. What do we got going on? So we'll be back next week, next Saturday, for more Worlds Without Numbers. If you want to come tune in, thank you for everyone who hung out, threw us some bits, got some people some rerolls, saved some lives by some of those rolls. The second session in a row that we can save some lives because of that. We'll be back the next day. We're streaming here is Monday. If you like sci fantasy, come back on Monday at 9 Central. As we are playing some Ultraviolet Grasslands, which should be a lot of fun. We're doing a session 0, building some characters, building our caravan, and maybe doing a little bit of travel, depending on how quickly all that goes. Next Friday, you're going to catch a few of us as we'll be back. No Delta Green next Friday, but we're going to be playing something else. Don't know what yet, but we're going to do something else because we're down a player. Tomorrow night over on Steam Still Murder, you can catch me and a few others playing some Shadowrun. Tuesday, back on Garblag Games, doing some Call of Cthulhu. Wednesday, doing some Pathfinder. I mean, I'm everywhere. So Garblag Games, Defenders of Cobalt, Steam Steel Murder, other places you can find some of us. And then, come back Monday, Fridays, and Saturdays on our channel for some good stuff. We're going to go ahead and raid some folks. Looks like our friend Party Wipe is playing some D&D, so we're going to give them a quick raid if you guys want to just hang out for that. I'm going to throw us in the end screen while the raid warms up. And we'll see hopefully Monday. So, good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.